And ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in to the InsideEdge Network. Cavaliers game for post game against the New York Knicks. That's Chad Bryan to my right, your right. I'm Eli Moon. We are InsideEdge Primetime, and we get the pleasure, Chad, of talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers for the next hour and a half here.
Okay.
Maybe hour if Chad gets fed up enough of them. But we are
I
going
got
to sit here.
I got 5 minutes in me, man. That's what the Cavs gave tonight. 5 minutes.
Chad, it is. I'm just at a loss for words, pal. We got a lot of time to dive into it. It is officially final. The New York Knicks are heading to their first final in 27 years. They sweep the Cleveland Cavaliers, a 4-0 series. Tonight's game, 130-93. And if you're wondering, as Chad mentioned about the Cavaliers, they gave it about as much effort as I did during ceramics class my sophomore year or junior year of high school. They came out, they saw that they were up against something that they weren't familiar with, that was adversity, and they don't know how to overcome adversity, it appears at this point. Yes, you can talk about the Game 7s all you'd like. When we are talking about the best of the best, which is why we brought Donovan Mitchell in, why we brought James Harden in, why we brought these guys in, unfortunately, you're going to be held to a standard of NBA championship, or where are we at as a team? And Chad, tonight, that was absolutely embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, the first 2 or 3 minutes are pretty good. They got up to a nice high. I mean, I was like, hey, all right, they're and then they forgot to try. I think for most of the game they forgot to try, Eli. Zero effort for a lot of that game. And I get it, you're tired or whatever, but listen, I don't want to hear tired. You're a professional athlete. You have access to the best healthcare, training tables, right? Like the best doctors, the best physical therapists, the best everything in the world, right? And listen, I get it. Being tired is one thing, and going out and just giving it all you have and losing is not embarrassing. What happened tonight was embarrassing. Quitting midway through the first quarter is embarrassing. The most expensive roster in basketball. I almost said baseball. It doesn't matter. They didn't know what sport they were playing tonight. Absolutely unbelievable. And the best part about it is, like you said, we have plenty of time to talk about it. We're doing a continuous stream, right? Us right in the midnight run.
Yeah.
Great. It'll match the continuous stream that the Cavs peed down their leg for this 4-game series. That'll be fantastic. I cannot wait. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I'm having a hard time even finding the words. It's like and I said it in the group chat. If they don't care, why should we care? I mean, we're talking about this team and they don't even care. I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, our daily show chat was definitely rocking, and not in a great way. A lot of anger, a lot of high blood pressure, I'd imagine, and just frustration, right? This is something I don't know how you recover as a team, as a front office, because, man, we got a lot to unpack here, Chad. I mean, this is a lot to unpack. Not only do we have to look at Donovan Mitchell, the star of this team, the guy we traded with Utah to bring him here to not advance to the second round, not just to get to a conference final and basically put as much effort in as Detroit, who's sitting at home and has been for the last 4 games. That's where we're at. Donovan Mitchell is not who we thought he was. We thought
he had
Donovan
an okay
Mitchell
game tonight, but that's not enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to have a good game when there's no pressure. And the feeling that Donovan has no pressure, he must have been floating tonight in terms of just being able to run up and down the court. I mean, this is incredible that a team can have such poor defense. And mind you, a team that 2-3 seasons ago was with JB Bickerstaff, and we give him a lot of crap here, but at least defensively, they gave a damn. And that has gone away. And now the offense turns into isolation basketball for literally quarters at a time, not just chunks of time, not 5-6 minutes, quarters at a time. We are at a time now, Chad, where it just doesn't make sense to keep any of this together. I mean, I'm not saying rebuild. I'm very careful with that word because it is a sensitive thing, considering the team in Berea does it almost every 3 to 4 years. However, you can retool, and with retooling, you can look at not only Donovan Mitchell, because I think there's a lot of questions now instead of answers when it comes to the legacy and Donovan Mitchell being here long-term past this season. How can you reason with the fact that he should be the superstar of this team. He should lead this team when I'm at a loss for words, Chad. I don't understand. And then James Harden, yes, he had a good game 3. I thought they should have stuck with him in the second half. I mentioned that with TK Dandridge Saturday in our post-game show. I said, hey, you know what? When he's hot like that, you got to stick with him. And they went back to Donovan, who is, for most of this series, been irrelevant when it comes down to crunch time. And James Harden at least gave a damn in game 3. Now, tonight, we're back to the same thing, discussing the same overall scope or theme or whatever you want to say about these Cavaliers. It is they don't care. So why should Dan Gilbert care when it comes down to these guys remaining in Cleveland long term? Brian Windhorst from ESPN Cleveland reported that James Harden is going to get a multi-year extension, that it's basically a done deal. You can't do that. You want to talk about what they should or shouldn't do? That is one of the first things that is stuck in my mind after watching that embarrassment of a basketball game in Cleveland. It was terrible. Terrible. And the fact that they would think about bringing James Harden back to this basketball team, the fact they would think about running this back, there is no way you can run this back. In fact, this is the furthest thing from what you can do next season. This should look nothing like next year's roster. This is, Chad, I don't understand it.
I don't know how you put this team back out on the court and look at your fans in the eyes and go, hey, come spend money at Rocket Arena, buy season tickets. And listen, the regular season's fun, right? I mean, you put this team back out there in the regular season, they probably won't get off to a terrible start. They'll probably win 55, 60 games. They'll be the 1 or 2 seed in the East. And will anybody feel good going into the playoffs? I mean, I wouldn't. The defensive lapses that we saw during the regular season, sometimes I think we explained them away. We said, listen, it's the regular season. It's the NBA. Nobody plays defense in the regular season. The defense that I saw, especially at times tonight, reminded me of watching the All-Star game, and not in a good way. Not because the best players are on the floor, because there's literally no defense played in the All-Star game. I mean, there's not even there's no defensive rotation. No one's moving. There's no help. There's nothing. I mean, nothing. Absolutely nothing. At one point, there was a loose ball, and this isn't the play that ended the season or anything. But I mean, it's just it's a small play. It's a microcosm of the bigger picture. Whatever. There was a loose ball. Ball got knocked away, and it was literally coming to James Harden, and he probably could have jogged and gotten there, but he just stood and watched it. He watched the Knicks just grab it, and they down for another fast break point. Which, by the way, they scored 33 of today, 33-9. Let's get into some of the numbers. Do you want to get into the numbers? You want to do that when we come back from the break? I'm super excited. I can't wait because we're going to find out if analytically the Cavs won tonight.
Save the numbers for after the break.
Okay.
But I will say this before we go to break, because you're right. We are up against it. We're going to be with the fine human beings that are tuned in with us for the next hour and a half. We appreciate you.
You guys are the real MVPs because I don't know how you're even still engaged in anything Cavs related. So we really appreciate you. You guys, much more effort than the Cavs game tonight. I am proud of every single one of you right now. I'm genuinely proud of you.
Yeah, we are. And you know what? I'll leave you with this to think about, everybody out there and Chad as well. If you're Dan Gilbert, again, I go back to it. If you're Dan Gilbert and you sit here and you've loaded bus loads of fans, 25 to be exact, for game 7 in Detroit, and you're loading up the buses and you're sending out all the fans, the season ticket holders and the employees, and you're really buying into this, that, hey, this is the year. We went out and made the move. The move that nobody thought they would do, and finally moved off of one of the core 4 members, getting off of Darius Garland, making the move for James Harden. So there's a lot of questions now that Dan Gilbert is going to have, not only for Kenny Atkinson. And did Kenny Atkinson get cloned this past week or something? Is this Lenny Atkinson? I don't understand. This can't be Kenny. This can't be, because he has said some of the most outlandish stuff in this past week.
You say when you're trying to get fired, right? Like when you go into a meeting with your boss and they go, well, listen, you completely bombed this week. Like, what? You didn't show up Tuesday. Well, yeah, but analytically Tuesday, I was here for 3.5 hours because I went over it in my head a couple of times. This is wild. Some of the things that he said, we played really great for 3. I mean, really, really great for 3 quarters. Man, listen, Kenneth,
if we were playing hockey, that would be amazing.
3 periods would have been awesome. You dominated for 3 periods. You won, right? But no, it turns out an NBA basketball game is 4 quarters, not 3 periods. Sorry. I analytically, we won the whole expected score thing. He goes, "You're looking at me like you're confused." Yeah, I'm really confused. Some of the dumbest things that I've ever heard come out of a coach's mouth. I mean, this is worse than like the Cody Kessler trust me. Hugh Jackson's they're battling out there, the 336 and whatever that was. I don't know the record. I can't remember anymore.
Bad. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, I know there were 3 wins in 3 seasons, and they weren't all in. It didn't all happen. Whatever. I don't know.
Chad.
I don't know, Eli. I'm having a hard time finding words that aren't inappropriate words.
Yeah, I'm trying to really, really watch how I don't swear up a storm, because that's really, I agree with you. I feel the Irish anger brewing. I feel it because we have literally watched a team dupe us, fool us, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
We all bought in and said the Cavaliers have shed the soft identity. They have shed all of the. They've removed any past narrative about them, and here they go to conquer where it all started in New York. And you know what New York said? Ha ha. Good luck. And they absolutely whooped us. And you know what? There's a lot of things you can look at. You can look at game 1, where the soul of the Cleveland Cavaliers apparently was ripped out in Madison Square Garden, and the Knicks never gave it back. You can look at the 22-point lead blown. You can look at game 2, where the shots weren't falling in. Analytically speaking, the Cavs could have won that game, but they didn't, because it's a make-or-miss league. To quote my guy Spencer Davies from Clutch Points and Basketball News, he mentioned it in my interview with him last week on Friday. Yep. It's a make-or-miss league. Game 2 didn't go your way, and then game 3 and 4, why even play basketball in Cleveland these last few nights? Absolutely embarrassing. If I'm Dan Gilbert, and we're going to go to break here for a moment, Chad, I know you have some numbers.
I can't wait.
I am not thrilled. I'm not thrilled, not because I don't want to hear you use your statistician here, your moment of stats. But I am so sick of the Cavaliers at this point. Dan Gilbert's going to have some questions, however, when it comes down to Kenny Atkinson and the way he has just completely went from all of the goodwill in the world in Cleveland to now he is on the hottest seat in the NBA of the coaches remaining right now. Yeah. And I'm talking playoffs. I'm talking right now out of the playoffs, whatever. He has the hottest seat in the NBA. You're going to look at his roster. You're going to look at Kobe Altman. You're going to have a question about why did we wait 5-6 years to build this core 4, all to just trade one of the main pieces. And I'm not advocating. Let me be clear. I'm not advocating for Darius Garland to still be a Cavalier. But it makes you wonder, who else was calling Kobe Altman's phone and saying, hey, we're interested in Darius Garland as well? Was James Harden at 36 years old and the notorious history he has as a playoff choke artist? That was the best we could do. So there's a lot of questions about Kobe Altman. Dan Gilbert gave him a lot of patience. I think the patience is running out. So we'll keep an eye on it all, Chad. I cannot wait to hear some stats. Analytically, I'm sure they swing a few ways for the Cavs, right?
Oh, sure. Listen, I'll just say this before we go to break. They lost by 37 on the court, but analytically, they only lost by about 29. So you're going to feel better when we come back. We're going to go over some numbers. They're going to make you feel a little bit better.
Oh, that's Chad Bryan to my right. You're right. I'm Eli Moon. We're Inside Edge Primetime, breaking down Cavs Game 4. They lose Game 4 and lose the series to the New York Knicks. Tonight, score 130-93. The Knicks are advancing to their first NBA Finals since 1999.
Can I really just quickly, congratulations to the Knicks, though. I mean, they played unbelievable basketball. The Cavs laid down and let them, but they still, I feel like they still would have rolled. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. You would say that.
Yes, kudos to the New York Knicks. They will wait to see who plays them in the NBA Finals with either the Thunder or the Spurs. Whoever comes out of the Western Conference, we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah. Somebody's got to get the 2 more wins between the Thunder and the Spurs. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's an interesting series. We'll be able to watch some good basketball tomorrow. But tonight, we are here for a funeral. And the funeral being the march of the Cleveland Cavaliers. We are walking them to the cemetery to put their 2025-2026 season to rest. And unfortunately, it ends with 4 straight losses to the New York Knicks. Chad Bryan to my right. You're right. I'm Eli Moon. We're back with more Cavs talk after this.
All right, we're back. 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 We're Monster Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by InsideEdge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at monstermomentsphotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. monstermomentsphotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams.
And we're back here on Inside Edge Primetime, and we get the honor of bringing you the sweep. The Cavs are done. 130-93. The Knicks are advancing to their first NBA final since 1999, which is crazy. What's crazier is the Cavaliers have showed me more ways of how you can quit a basketball game than I thought you could going into an Eastern Conference Final Series. So it's amazing. Chad, you're going to have to unmute yourself, pal, because there we go. Yeah, I want you to put a little effort in tonight.
Yeah,
I want you to put a little effort in tonight. All right, listen, I know they didn't give a damn on that court. I need you to. All right, so I'm upset tonight. Okay, and I love you. I don't want it. That wasn't towards you. That was towards Donovan Mitchell and James Harden and.
Understandable.
I'm so upset.
Analytical
Game 5 Wednesday night. Oh pal. You thought I was irritated. I know you're irritated. I don't know how else to introduce him except for the host of Unfiltered here weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on the Inside Edge Network. He might have blood pressure higher than I've seen in recent weeks out of this guy. Yes, none other than Kyle Cornell. Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the congregation, tonight we lay to rest the season that is the 2025-2026 Cleveland Cavaliers. I am wearing all black because we are in mourning of the effort that the Cavs left in the 7-game series previous against the Pistons from Detroit. Unlike many of my friends on this network, decided not to watch the Cavs tonight because it was a foregone conclusion that I mentioned on Unfiltered. Make sure you listen, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. But still, I felt the need to come because I was supposed to be on the Game 5 post-game coverage with you boys. Obviously, that's not going to happen.
No, it's Wednesday night at 8, analytically.
Do you see Chad? Yeah, you don't see Chad.
The good news is Kenny Atkinson.
Score, Kyle? Come on.
The good news is Kenny Atkinson fully believes right now the Cavs have a 3-1 dominating lead going into Game 5 in New York, and that they will be able to pull out an analytical victory. He'll be watching Game 1 of the NBA Finals, saying we could have won that game too based on how we played in the first 4 games of the last series. I have never seen a coach be that delusional. I have never seen a team that has the talent to go to a finals give up as easily as the Cavs did. And I've never seen a team like New York ride the wave of 2 straight teams that were just happy to be there. The 76ers won a Game 7 for the first time in Joel Embiid's career in the first round against Boston, which was their NBA Finals Game 7. And they completely laid down in that series where New York, I think, beat them by an average of like 25 points per game or whatever the crazy number was. And then they face a Cleveland Cavaliers team that's just happy to be back since 2018 for the first time in the conference finals. The big difference, they don't have LeBron James, someone who's going to take over a series and make it competitive. Hell, even that series in 2015 against Golden State when LeBron was by himself, Timofey Mozgov was his second leading scorer. They still went to 6 games against the Golden State Warriors that won 73 games the next year. Just want to throw that out there. If you were wondering about if Donovan Mitchell is the guy, he is not. He is the B star on a team that needs the A star. He can score 30 points, but he can't do everything every game that you need your star to do to impact winning, and now it shows.
And I'm going to be honest with you, Kyle. At this point, and maybe I'm being a little over the top with it, I don't think so. I don't even know if Donovan Mitchell is the B star on a team right now that it has championship aspirations.
He gives Kyrie Irving. He gives Kyrie Irving big time.
But honestly, I don't. Sure, the same type of vibe, but 2 completely different players. Kyrie had a clutch gene in his body. As the playoffs have gone on and we've needed Donovan to step up and say, give me the basketball. Let me go win a basketball game. They haven't done it. And guess what?
Hold on. Game 7 against Detroit, he had his best game maybe as a Cavalier in the postseason.
I give you that. I give you that.
Complete game. He stepped up in that moment. They won by 21 points. I'm not going to – it's revisionist history to forget that he just didn't have any good playoff games whatsoever.
But what I said was most of this playoff run, when we've needed a big bucket from Donovan Mitchell, it hasn't been him. Game 6 to send it to overtime in Toronto, it was Evan Mobley. At times we've leaned on James Harden or Max Strus. I'm not sitting here questioning that Donovan Mitchell's not a top 15, maybe even 10 if you want to have a discussion. However, there's guys that make sense for championship rosters and guys that make sense for just having a good time and just enjoying the process. And you know what? It's okay because Donovan Mitchell doesn't feel any pressure, Kyle. Chatty, he doesn't feel any pressure. So you know what? He's okay. He's going to be all right. What sucks, though, is for everybody that had to endure their basketball team give up in Cleveland, literally at home, for one of the most passionate fan bases in the NBA. And I know every NBA fan base is going to say that. But and Kyle, you brought it up on Unfiltered. This arena gets rocking. The fact that it was sworn by New York Knicks fans and the fact that they just got to chant the entire game. I feel bad for people that had to step out on a weeknight. I know it's Memorial Day, and happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. I know you had to step out and you got to go to work tomorrow. I am sorry that you didn't get to go to bed earlier. I apologize if you work a 3 a.m. shift because you shouldn't have had to endure that because clearly the Cavaliers didn't want to play basketball. Clearly, nobody wanted to step up. And that is the thesis, the theme of this series. And that's where I'm at, Kyle. Again, just bring it back full circle. And I know, Chad, you have some fantastic stats. I cannot wait to hear it. I know, Kyle, perfect time. You get to hear some analytical stats here in a second.
Oh, I can't wait. I heard so many from Kenny Atkinson the past couple of days. I cannot wait to hear Chad's glowing review of the Cavs sweep.
What I'll say about this, though, you guys see, I'm like, I'm
awesome analytically, man. Awesome.
I'm getting Irish and angry when the hand starts like moving. And I'm like, okay, listen,
Can't see the ears because you're wearing the earbuds and you have the long hair, but that can change if you guys go to InsideEdgeNetwork.com and use that promo code Insider to get 20% off your purchases.
You're damn right. You're damn right. Yep. Absolutely. Help us out. Rep local, like Kyle says on Unfiltered. Rep Cleveland's digital leader and get some great Inside Edge Network gear.
He's always good for a plug.
Yeah. Get Eli a haircut. Get Kyle some practice with the Clippers. Not the LA Clippers. They don't.
I got a Clippers hat. I should have wore it.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, it'd be better than wearing the Cavaliers hat tonight. And I love these guys. I love the Cavaliers. I love this team. And that's what hurts because they gave up. They literally gave up. And to bring it back full circle, it's like I have a lot of questions. I said it before the break about Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, about, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen get a little bit of a pass because they weren't utilized to their full capability. They were efficient from the floor. And they went away from the pick and roll what worked. But they're going to be evaluated as a roster. Atkinson has a ton of questions. I'm sure he has a bunch of math problems to bring out to Dan Gilbert to try to figure this one out. And Kobe Altman's got some questions to answer as well. That's really where we're at.
Before Che gives his numbers, I do want to say this about one, Dan, and then two, Kobe Altman as well. Say what you will about these guys. They've been running this ship for a long time now. They are not afraid to blow shit up and to make moves and all that stuff. So I'm not going to blame Kobe Altman for saying, hey, what we were doing before wasn't working. We weren't even getting past anywhere near the second round. How do I try to figure out a way to get us more forward? And James Harden did give you a better chance to win over Darius Garland simply because James Harden led the Cavaliers in minutes played this postseason. Like that's the biggest difference there. He was available. Whether he was good or not, we can talk. And believe me, there was a lot of times he wasn't. But he was on the court. There's a good chance Darius Garland doesn't play half these games. So then you're really kind of behind the eight ball because you have no one that can take the onus off of Donovan Mitchell at all. We're going to see Craig Porter Jr. playing some point guard minutes in the Eastern Conference Finals. And, hey, maybe he does good. Maybe he falls under pressure because he hasn't been there. Some people will say maybe they want to see that instead. I don't know. But, it's just you wouldn't have something that's, really solid and connected there. You tried to make Donovan Mitchell happy. He wanted James Harden here. Bigger guard who can take the ball handling stuff so Donovan can play off the ball more, which I think is his worst trait. He needs to play on the ball so he can create, so he can take over games. That's what happened in Game 7 against Detroit. Look at any game Donovan Mitchell, when they've won by a bunch of points, he has 5, 6, 7, 8 assists, whatever it is, because he's moving the ball. He has it in his hands, and he's making plays for others too. That's why LeBron could score 30 whenever he wanted, but he averaged 8, 9 assists a game. He was impacting the overall game, getting his teammates involved. Mitchell had 1 assist again tonight. That's not good enough.
Yeah. Exactly. And I got some thoughts. I'm going to hold it for a second just because Chad has been chomping at the bit to get these stats in. We'll revisit this, Kyle, because I got some more thoughts on Donovan because I don't think he is clear of any criticism at this point and where he fits if he is going to be on this roster next year and where his role really makes sense at. I got a lot of thoughts on that. I know you do as well. And I appreciate you joining because, there is no Cavs Game 5, buddy. You can enjoy your Wednesday night. Much to Chad's chagrin, I know.
I know he's looking forward to me losing my shit after they lost in 5 instead of 4. But Chad, what do you got, man? Give us stats.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, Kyle, I thought you made a great point about Darius Garland. And Harden did lead the team in minutes play. It's fine. It wasn't always good, but you're right. They say the best ability is availability. So he was out there. And as far as Donovan Mitchell goes, Eli, it's really hard to be a ball dominant guard when the other guard is out there dribbling the ball into the floor for 22 seconds of the shot clock, but it doesn't matter. It's over.
Oh, no.
Listen, so here we go. I didn't think the numbers were real. The Cavs got out-rebounded tonight overall, 60-33.
Oh, my God.
Okay. 60 rebounds, 60-33. Offensive rebounds. Cavs had 6 of those. That's fun. The Knicks had 20. So there's that. Assists. We talked about assists. You need assists. You got to move the ball. You can't just score. You got to help other guys score, right? Can't just everybody can't score off the dribble. Cavs had 21 of those. The Knicks had 33. The Cavs did block 4 shots. So that was fun. Turnovers. 22 turnovers for the Cavs. Points off those turnovers. The Knicks had 34. Fast break points, 33-9. The Knicks led in fast break points. Points in the paint, 50-36. The Knicks led. The largest lead.
They won by 33, or what was it, 37? What was
37, yeah. But analytically, only by 29.
Christ.
Analytically, 29.
Don't let the numbers fool you because as Kenny
don't mind me while I churn this butter.
Analytically, they were great because look, analytically, they won 2 out of 3, and it's fine. Don't worry.
What a shit show. By the way, again, I brought this up on Unfiltered. Kenny Atkinson's supposed to be the offensive guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's supposed to be the guy that, okay, we lose the game, but we lose at 133 to 129 because we scored too many points and couldn't get stops. We'll live with that. Fine. At least the offense showed up. That's his calling card.
Yeah.
They're scoring 90 points in multiple games this series.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, that's fireable for what he is expected to do with this roster, as Eli mentioned.
Do you remember when Kenny Atkinson, when they hired him, well, I don't know. I got excited because I was like, man, bro is coming from Golden State. Like, there's going to be ball movement galore. We're going to get open shots. We've got shooters on this team. This offense is going to cook. And with the defensive effort, they already know how to give. They already knew how to give.
Yeah.
At the time. They were good defensively. I was like, this team is going to cook, man. This team might win. They're going to go 81-1. I didn't say that. But they're going to win games, right? They're going to win a ton of games. They're finally going to get to they're going to be the 1 seed. They're going to look like it. They're going to play like it.
Well, to be fair, they did win 64 last year.
Yeah, they did. They were really, really good.
Yeah.
What happened? Where's that? Like, where was the drop off? I know they had a terrible start. And to give them credit, they did fix that. I mean, they got much, much better as the regular season went on. But the thing, we were all concerned, defensive effort, whatever it changes in the play, the rotations are different. Guys give different effort. Nobody gave a different effort. There was no switch that got flipped. There was no uptick in effort. There was nothing noticeable from the regular season to the postseason. And they showed up in a couple of games, right? You talked about Game 7. Donovan Mitchell had a great game against the Pistons, whatever. There were a couple of guys that had individual. They had a couple of team games that were really good here and there. They did. But this series, and listen, I know the Knicks are just hot right now. I mean, you look at the Knicks across the board. I mean, nobody even really stood out. I mean, 17, 19, 15, 15, 16, 11. Like,
balance.
God, they were just so good. They were so good. But when it's really easy to be balanced scoring-wise when a team does not defend you. I mean, when they're leaving 3 or 4 of you open at any given time, it's really easy to find those guys for open shots, and it's easy to have balanced scoring, I think.
Offensive rebounds and turnovers are two of the things you should look at when you're talking about a team that's facing a hill, because it's effort stats. It's stats that you need to circle and be like, hey, if we win these two categories, we should be in the game because we're fighting. We're putting effort out there. We may not win, but we're going to keep fighting because we know our backs are against the wall. We have nothing to lose. Why not leave it on the court tonight? The fact that they got just obliterated in the rebounding category, the turnovers, still a problem. Like, it shows you. And Donovan Mitchell scored a third of their points. I mean, that's, again, he can put the ball in the basket. That's what he's good at. He's not good at being a leader. He's not good at being the guy, as far as the guy that can take over a game consistently. That's where guys like Giannis, like Jokic, like LeBron, like Steph, like some of those guys. Steph doesn't even do it like with a bunch of physicality. He hits 2 threes, and the crowd wants to jump out of their seats and give him a high five on the floor. Like, he has that aura around him that just draws his teammates to be like, oh yeah, let's play better. Like, Donovan Mitchell doesn't have that. And the fact that Jarrett Allen is probably the most leader-driven person on the team is scary because he's quiet.
Yeah.
So,
and Double A and I talked about it on Midnight Run, guys. Last week we had a discussion as the Cavaliers were currently getting belt to ass in New York. We were talking about what core 4, or, as Kyle calls it, and I give him the credit. He says the Cavs core 3, and then James Harden on Harden Island. And I always mention it from time to time that is a real thing. And we can discuss. We have all week. Now, no playoff basketball. We have all week to discuss, and we will. But, you think about this Cavaliers roster in the way they were constructed. They went into tonight the same way they've gone into games that have mattered in this playoff. I get the 2 Game 7 victories.
Yeah.
But Game 6, they had a chance to close out Detroit at home where they had not lost before. And they sleptwalked their way to another just disappointing game. And that's where it's at, and I understand we're talking Donovan Mitchell here for a moment. That's where it kind of, I'm having a tough time wanting to bring the guy back, to be quite honest. If I'm the Cavaliers, you at least do your due diligence and you call around and you see who wants Donovan Mitchell. Because
you have to go get a legit number 1 option if you're going to keep him. I mean, period.
Yeah, that's the Giannis thing needs to be front and center. Again, I'm calling Milwaukee tonight and being like, hey, Mobley, probably Tyson, and every first-round pick we have available, what do you think? And they probably will take that because they can see that, and they'll go, okay, we can build off of Evan Mobley. There's no guarantee these guys are going to be good in a couple of years anyway with Giannis, depending on how things go, who else is going to be on the roster.
Yeah.
The only person I could see trading Donovan for, you're not going to trade him for Giannis because you want to pair them together.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't like the dude as far as his personality, but you know what? He's young, and it matches more with the time frame of the rest of the roster. Is John Morant, because Memphis wants to get rid of him, and you can ship Donovan to the Western Conference in no man's land in Memphis.
Can he
see how
stay
that
engaged
goes.
long enough to even be a factor, though?
Yeah. I think I'd be cool on John Morant personally. They got to do something.
He can't be the one either, though. That's what I'm saying. Either way, you're calling about Giannis, and that needs
Yes,
to be their front and center type thing. Especially you talk about Kobe Albin. Okay, now this hasn't worked. It's not going to. I'm looking very hard at okay, so I'm going to interview Jason Kidd immediately and be like, what do you see with this roster? What do you think we need?
Yes,
you think
I'm 1,000% with you.
Honest with me, because you've won a championship as a player. You've been on a team that upset a team that was a super team. Like the Knicks are not a super team. The OKC, the Thunder, they're a really, really, really good team, but they're not a super team.
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio, they've got a superhero on their team and Wemby who can do almost anything, but they're not a super team.
Yeah.
What do we need? Do you think you can get that done for us? Do you think if we sign you and bring you in as our head coach, you could lure Giannis here? You could lure LeBron here. You could do whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
I don't care. Did the rumors about getting Kyrie and Kevin Love back and making the trades to do all that stuff? Hey, listen, I'd take Kevin Love in this series. Give me 10 to 15 minutes off the bench, hit a couple shots, get some rebounds. That's all I need you to do. Be the backup center and the power forward, get some rebounds, and
at least know he's going to play fundamentally sound basketball. Like you'll get that from Kevin Love,
and he's going to push the ball out in the open court so they can get some easy baskets with the younger guys like the Tysons. And where was Keon Ellis? Did he play tonight? I didn't watch the game.
He got garbage time. He got 16 minutes. He had 5 points, 1 of 3 from the floor, 2 rebounds, an assist, and a steal.
I mean, again, these guys you trade for that you want to make impact players against a team like New York because they're a bit longer at the guard spot. And like Schroeder and Ellis and those guys that are supposed to be like just bulldogs and they're supposed to make things difficult for teams like New York, teams like Boston, teams like OKC if you got there, stuff like that. They're not seeing any minutes. And when he did give Jalen Tyson some minutes, kid did fine. He did pretty well. He did what he was supposed to do. Effort. Again, he didn't shoot the lights out, but he had no rhythm because he hasn't played in a series and a half.
Correct.
So I mean, like, what do you expect?
Defense. Yeah, he played tough physical defense.
Yeah.
It just like you said, effort. Let me ask you this before I forget to ask you. Kyle, are you an extend James Harden guy or are you not? Don't extend James Harden.
I'm a sign and trade James Harden guy. I've been adamant about this. I think the perfect person for that backcourt is Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Talk about just a selfless dude who's 6'3", 6'4". He's physical. He could still score 20 if you need him to. He can handle the ball when you want to give Donovan a break from bringing the ball up. And he is clutch and hits big shots. I would take him in a heartbeat. Portland would take James so they could cut him, so they could save the money on the cap because they're young. They're building around Denny Avdija out there. They want to try and work around that. They really don't want Drew Holiday, I don't think, for the long term because, again, he's 33, whatever. He aligns more with if we somehow got LeBron, if a Giannis came, whatever it is. I'm looking hard at Drew Holiday. I'm like, that's the guy I'm circling. Defense, the ability to still score and make an impact a little bit on the offensive end, but not someone who's going to dominate the ball so Donovan can't get his touches or Mobley or in this case Giannis or whoever can still take the ball and make plays. Like he's not going to take any touches away from them.
One more question for you, Kyle. Are these numbers, is Drew Holiday more clutch than this though? This was James Harden in the 3 elimination games that the Cavs played this season.
No, I'll answer right now. No,
it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. From the field, he was 7 of 27 for 25.9%. And don't worry about it because 3 pointers are what matters in today's NBA. Let me check. He was, well, I'm sure analytically he was fine, but 1 of 17 for 5.9% from the 3-point line.
How many turnovers did he have too in those 3 games?
412.
Yeah, see, I guarantee you he had at least double the amount of turnovers he had field goals made, and that's the big problem too.
For sure.
For all the benefit you have of being able to handle the ball and take some pressure off Donovan and score a little bit. Or James Harden averaged like 18 points a game this series. Yeah, he also averaged like 6 turnovers a game, which is like, again, you're getting the way they're scoring off points off turnovers. 30 some points and off turnovers. You're giving them easy buckets because you're not running back to play defense. So James Harden had maybe a game and a quarter where he's played defense in this series, and it's barely more than that for the postseason overall. Like it's not his calling card. It never has been. It never will be.
It's not going to get better as he gets older.
Ironically enough, he's not going to win another championship unless he's the 6th man. Like that's he's got to come off the bench, play 15, 20 minutes, and he can handle the ball when the real stars are sitting down and taking a break. That's when he needs to play because that's when he can take out Miles McBride and those guys, and he could take them to church a little bit because they're young and they're just energetic and they just want to overplay and all that stuff. He could handle that matchup. He can't guard Jalen Brunson, who I think is a top 5 player in the league right now. He can't guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Whether Eli likes him or not, he's a defending 2-time in a row MVP and one of the best guards in basketball. Like he's
one
not
of the
going
best.
to be
Hey, easy. One of the best, not top 2. Go ahead. Go on. Continue.
Him and Wemby they're punching each other for that top spot, literally, because they're facing each other.
I just
right
wanted
now.
to make sure I wanted to make sure I got my voice heard because you couldn't hear me on Unfiltered earlier. So you
I know. I explained your point and I explained why it was bullshit, but that's beside the point.
Listen here, pal. Continue. Keep going. Anyways,
he's not good enough. Eli, you are. James Harden is not good enough. This is it's literally what it is. He's never been that guy, and you put it with Donovan Mitchell, who's honestly, if we're being really honest here, he's shown up and scored points for Utah in those big games, and they just didn't win because he could blame the team. I didn't have a good enough team around me. Joe Ingles was my second option, whatever it is. In this situation, the lack of being able to say, when Kenny Atkinson came in, we're going to unlock Evan Mobley. He's going to be a guy. He's going to be KG. He's going to be all this stuff. And then just not give him the ball and not let him have moments where he can. He showed when he's aggressive, the dude can get to the basket and score. For as lanky and as weak as he looks sometimes, I watched Josh Hart bully this dude. Josh Hart, who is 8 inches shorter and weighs probably 30 pounds less, bully Evan Mobley.
That's effort.
When he wants.
Yeah, that's effort.
There's no drive. There's not one person in that locker room. I think, Chad, you brought this up, and Eli, you've mentioned it too throughout this entire postseason. There's not one guy in there who's like a Draymond Green, who's like, I'm going to punch my teammate if he doesn't get his shit together, because this is ridiculous.
No one holds anybody accountable on this roster. Not one player.
He punched Jordan Poole so hard, he went to the Wizards and scored 19 a game, and people were like, that guy kind of sucks. Like, that's how hard he punched that dude. Like, it's like, you need that kind of guy. At this point, I mean, Draymond Green's on the way out probably, and possibly in Golden State too. Do you take someone like that just to have some sort of physicality
in the locker room? Yes. Yeah. Listen, he's not going to give you 25 points a night anymore and hit 5 or 6 threes and give you 11 assists or whatever, but I want his personality. I need these guys to feed off his personality. I need somebody to care.
Well,
damn, man. I mean, it's wild.
Well, I'll say this.
Can we play a game 2 before? Maybe we can do it after break, whatever. I know Okay, because we've been talking for a minute, but I want to kind of play a would you, won't you with trades for Evan Mobley. And I've got a couple names. There's an obvious one, but I have a couple other guys that I've kind of racked my brain a little bit and thought about. That I'm curious if you guys would agree. Yes, I would trade Evan Mobley for X player. I'm curious. I'm gonna have a few names when we come back. I want to pick your guys' brain about that.
All right, sounds good. Well, hey, we'll come back from break. That's a perfect way to let the people know that they should definitely stay locked in. Go grab your caffeine, grab your dinner, whatever you need. 2 guys I wouldn't trade for the world: Kyle Cornell and Chad Bryan. But will the Cavs trade Evan Mobley? No, you know what? You guys give effort, and that's all I can ask for. You know what? However, the Cavaliers did not give any effort. They lost 130-93 to New York Knicks tonight in Cleveland. They get swept. The Knicks heading to their first finals since 1999. If you're enjoying the content all week long, daily with Kyle Cornell on Unfiltered, 5 to 6 p.m. with Chad Bryan and myself, 10 to 11 p.m. Inside Edge Primetime weeknights, and Midnight Run with Anthony Alford, midnight to 1 a.m. weeknights. And guess what, folks? He's back. He's back. He typed it up last night. He sent in the email to the company, to the network. He sent it in. He goes, I'm back. He is returning at midnight. And man, what a great way. Oh, well, half the people don't check their emails, but
I check it every day. I'm not on the chain, I guess. I don't matter. That's fine. Double A. See how it is. Son of a bitch, you.
Oh no. I'm gonna get myself in trouble too. All right. Well, with that being said, Double A is back at midnight here on the Inside Edge Network. Midnight Run with Anthony Alford returns. He'll talk hopefully Chicago, but I don't think he'll get to it tonight with the Cavaliers, unfortunately. Inside Edge.
Listen, he's gonna deep dish when he comes on, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, the deepest dish. Careful, he gets too deep. You're not gonna be able to see him because he's so short.
Oh, Double A, I'm sorry. I did not approve of any of these. We did not.
Hey, man, you ever stand in a pothole? I couldn't see shit.
On Memorial Day? All right.
Inside Edge Net on all the socials. If you're enjoying the great content, website's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Again, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. 20% off at the shop. Windbreakers, mugs, shirts, polos, all the great stuff. Insider, 20% off your order.
I'll show you where you can shove your windbreaker.
InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's Kyle Cornell.
He's in the drawer
from time to time, or as he likes to call it, Unfiltered. Chad Bryan, he's still crunching the numbers, looking at the analytics. He's trying to get over to Kenny Atkinson, who's trying to figure out what just happened. It was just, that's what happened. I'm Eli Moon, and that's perfect. We'll be back after this. Cavs lose. They lose the series.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am driving back from Chicago. Coming up tonight on Midnight Run, we're not going to talk about the final score of Cavs-Knicks. We're going to talk about how the Cavaliers, according to analytics, they're leading the series. They're leading the conference finals. Kenny Atkinson, come on, man. We'll talk about that, plus a lot more. A lot of great stuff to get into tonight and this week. We are live and local here on the Inside Edge Network. Midnight Run coming up tonight, right here.
Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Folks, I am sad. I am so sad. One, I'm sad because the Cleveland Cavaliers lost to the New York Knicks in Game 4. They have been swept. They are not advancing to the NBA Finals. In fact, they're going home. 130-93, they lose tonight. And it's a special Inside Edge Primetime. Chad Bryan in the middle this time around. I'm Eli Moon. And we have Kyle Cornell from Unfiltered, 5 to 6 p.m. here on the Inside Edge Network, weekdays with us. Now, the tricky thing is Kyle probably didn't hear a single word I said. Kyle, can you hear me? Kyle, can you hear me? I don't think Kyle can hear me. This is poor communication, just like the Cavaliers on offense. Kyle, can you hear me? Chad, you say something.
Hey, Kyle, can you hear me now?
I think he's gone.
Is he just frozen? I texted you during the break, and I said I saw Kyle pop out and pop back in. And I said, Kyle will not be able to hear you when we come back. Didn't I say that? I told you.
He's not going to be able to hear me at all if he's frozen, pal.
No,
I mean, man, that's like telling me my bet's not going to hit in the third quarter of a game I'm down by 20 or 30. Oh! Now, luckily, I didn't bet on the Cavs tonight, and with the brain did not. But, man, hold on. We're going to try to bring him back. Kyle, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Hey.
You know what's great? You know what? We were talking before you left. Well, you kind of left, and then you were frozen. We were scared for a minute, and we were talking about poor communication like the Cavaliers. You know what's good, though, is we know how to bounce back. We took a punch right there. That was like a run right there by the internet. The technology was whooping our ass, and we jumped right back in, and we're on a run now. We're not on a midnight run. We're on 11 o'clock run here on Inside Edge Prime Time. But
couldn't pay me to run at midnight. No, I don't. It's when this happens now at this point, Eli, because it's only just you. Like I honestly, I close this shit out and never reopen it and hope for the best at this point.
Dude, I think the funniest moment is like on Unfiltered. Again, 5 to 6 p.m. here, weekdays on the Inside Edge Network. It's like the hilarious thing is like Kyle's like, this only happens with Eli on the network, and he only produces my show. So, we don't ever need any communication. I mean, it's hilarious.
I give him a great intro. I talk about all these amazing points he doesn't make. And it's like, I don't understand why it's like, it just happens the way it does. But for some reason, StreamYard basically just says, hey, yeah, you and Eli, nah, you don't need to fucking talk.
You guys are going to have to get landlines and just communicate by landline, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to
call
send
into the
Carrier
show.
Pigeon. I'm a big Harry Potter guy, as you see by the intro of Unfiltered, again, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. But like I'm send an owl or, you know, something like that.
You got to have an owl. Hedgewig, come on, let's go.
Yes.
Hedgewig.
Guys, I'm glad we were able to have a good laugh here because tonight was not funny at Rocket Arena. Whatever the hell that was not funny. We got a lot more to dissect on this roster, but Kyle did so epically let us know that he has some trade offers, potentially hypothetical. These are. He has not talked to Kobe Altman yet. We'll see if he can get these up the ladder and get it to Kobe. But Kyle has some trade. He has some trade offers that he wants to see. I believe we understood you correctly. You want Chad and I to say yay or nay if we would do these trades. Okay, yeah,
yes or no, thumbs up, thumbs down. Maybe it's in the middle. I don't know how you feel, but I kind of wanted to throw. I have 5 names. Okay. This is not. I mean, I guess it could be for Mobley. But Mobley or Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
So weigh it. Maybe I'll say Mobley just because, again, I don't want to move Donovan yet. I think that there's equity in having a 30-point per game guy on your team. Sure. I think that there's still, whereas Evan just hasn't proved he could be that guy. So it's not technically all his fault. He hasn't been given a lot of the reins like we thought he was going to, but still, I digress. The first name I have on this list, and I know what you guys are going to say about the second name. We've already kind of made that clear. I'm not even going to bring up Giannis because we know he'd say yes in a heartbeat.
Yes.
As with the poll indicated earlier, too.
Yeah.
My God. It was just lopsided as fuck.
Kind of like this series.
Would you trade Evan Mobley for Zion Williamson?
Chad, take this one first. You want me to go?
No, I would not.
Okay.
No, I don't want you to go first. I'm sorry. And no, I would not trade Evan Mobley for Zion Williamson. Now I want you to go, though. You can go now.
No, I'm glad that you said that because I completely agree with you, and I just want to see where your heart was at first.
Yeah.
Because Zion Williamson, just elaborate for a second. Kyle, you said this actually earlier today on Unfiltered. If this was draft Zion Williamson, maybe we're having a discussion. I still wasn't even the highest on him coming out of the draft just because of the injuries that could happen because of his weight and everything. I was skeptical about if he could stay healthy, and that's been the big thing.
He's just too unserious for me, man. No, not at this point. No.
Yeah. Played, I believe, either the second most or the most amount of games in a season this year. You think he played like 72? He played a lot. So I give him credit. He was healthy for the most part this season. New Orleans has handled him funky. The food down there, believe me, it's some good shit. So he needs to go to a town that's we're known for good food in Cleveland, but not like New Orleans. So I think that there's room there where maybe you can get it more in check, especially if you did that and found a way to get LeBron here too. I feel those kind of guys can use that kind of leadership around him to maybe make a change. I don't know. My
only thing, Kyle, before we move on real quick, is just to hammer down on Williamson's health. Is we are literally having discussions every postseason about Donovan Mitchell if he's at 100% or 75%. I don't want to bring another guy in, especially trade Evan Mobley, who at least, you could say he can get involved a little bit more, and they need to figure out what's going on there, but at least he's available. Yeah, and that's a pretty big trait. So
you just you put yourself in a tough spot with Evan because he's not really. You can't get Victor Wembanyama for him, but you can get like a really good all-star. So it's kind of like trying to figure out what names would make sense. Yeah. Maybe some teams that would be willing to move off. The second name is Ja Morant. I mean, the backcourt of Ja and Donovan Mitchell would be enticing, I'm sure, to Kenny Atkinson for running and trying to run and gun. You'd be moving off of your big man, and you'd be fully going into this is the Ja and Donovan Mitchell show. This move also probably means you don't bring back James Harden. So
I'll take this one first, Chad, if you don't mind.
No, go.
Ja Morant, and we spent time talking about Ja Morant across main event. I think Chad and I even have spent some time, obviously, about Ja Morant. And if this was, again, maybe 3-4 seasons ago, yes. But it's not even that he can't play well, Kyle, because, yes, we know what Ja Morant is and who he is as a player. I mean, he's very talented when his head's in the right spot, when it's, when his head's
motivated
where his feet
Ja
are.
Morant. Yeah,
exactly.
Motivated Ja Morant.
Exactly, and he hasn't been. And he's really lacked in being somebody that Grizzlies can count on as a leader. And again, we're bringing up the themes here. Some of these guys, there's big themes that the Cavs already have problems with. Leadership's one of them. Yeah. I don't think we had Ja Morant to a locker room that's already struggling to find a voice.
Yeah, so far, Ja Morant and Zion. I mean, they're both maybe not Zion so much, but kind of reclamation projects at this point, right? Not guys who are going to come in and hold this roster accountable and be the guy, that alpha out there that the Cavs have kind of they've really been lacking that. So no, I don't think I'd do that.
Okay, so we're 0 for 2.
Okay.
The next one's interesting because Oklahoma City's got some moves to make in this offseason.
Okay.
No, Eli, it's not your boy Jalen Williams. Evan Mobley for Chet Holmgren.
Listen, are they going to run the ball? Are they going to give him the ball? Because if he's out there and he's
going to run the ball, damn it.
Well, yeah, are they going to run the ball? Are they going to have an offensive line for Chet Holmgren? That's all I want to know.
Give it junkets and put your head down, damn it.
I don't know who the quarterback is, but yeah, okay. I mean, maybe I might actually do that. I don't know. I feel like Holmgren has some. There's some effort there. There's some like the
there's grit. There's grit.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Grit.
And he's won a championship. He has the experience.
Yeah.
No one else on the Cavs can say that. So
yeah, not just for the sake of change, but yes, I would probably do that.
I would need more. I would need AJ Mitchell for sure coming from OKC as well.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that.
But I would. I mean, then I guess I would. Then to answer your question,
SGA and Jalen Williams. Yeah.
No, he doesn't like SGA. He hates
SGA.
He
I don't
SGA.
hate SGA. Let's be.
He said he's the worst point guard in the league.
No, I did not. Disclaimer: go back and watch Unfiltered earlier where I couldn't talk, and that's all I got.
He said he's stinky. He said he's stinky. He doesn't like it. He stinks.
I said via text messages that you said on Unfiltered for me because you couldn't hear me earlier that Shea is 4.
I can't leave that chat. It's my show. I can't just disappear for a minute.
That's fair.
You gotta stay on there.
Shay's
okay,
top
so
4.
So Chet is a 50-50. We got one yes, one no. Okay.
Yeah. I just
here's the next one. This is where it gets interesting now, because now these are some names that I think actually people would be like, oh, I want to hear this.
Okay.
Evan Mobley for Jaylen Brown.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up. I'll answer first. Yeah, sorry, Chad, but whoa,
easy.
I spoke about this on Main Event, and I've said on Primetime about Jaylen Brown probably has already played his last minute as a Boston Celtic. I think he's gone this offseason. I think, as much as they're going to try to save face, Brad Stevens and company, and then Jaylen Brown on his end to say how great the relationship is, the fact that you go out on your Twitch stream or whatever have you, and you're out there talking about how Jaylen Brown had the best season and the most fun he's had as a Boston Celtic, where Jason Tatum didn't play a lot of the year. He didn't play in that Game 7. It just odd. However, all that to be said, a change of scenery is always nice. Jaylen Brown is one of the best players in the NBA, and it would be interesting. And I would do Donovan Mitchell for like that trade, Donovan Mitchell for Jaylen Brown. I would. We need a little bit more. You can't just do straight up, I don't think.
Yeah.
But if you can get a
one guy's a
finals
MVP and a champion, the other guy can't even get past the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know. Maybe you're happy to take that trade straight up.
I think, and Chad, I know you have an answer as well, but I think real quick.
How do you know?
I hope you do. That's the whole point of this game is we're supposed to have answers. All right. But no, I think about Jaylen Brown.
People ask the questions.
I think with Jaylen Brown, right? I think Boston's going to be desperate enough at some point. Not right now. Season's still going on. Postseason's rocking. I think they're going to get desperate to a point where they're going to worry about team chemistry being affected, and they're going to look to move Jaylen Brown. And I think they could be overpaying a little bit just to ship off to save that team chemistry. That's something Brad Stevens is big on. I know he's in the front office now. He's big on team chemistry.
Before Chad gives his idea here, watch Giannis. If Giannis doesn't go to Boston, that's when, okay, what can we get for Jaylen? Because this isn't going to work. And then that's when a Donovan Mitchell or an Evan Mobley could be strung out a little bit to be like, hey, what about this? And we'll see.
Yeah. What do you say,
Chad? Chad?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I didn't have an answer until you guys told me I had to have one, and I guess fine, I'll make one up. I don't know. I mean, he scares me a little bit because of the Twitch stuff. To Eli's point, man, going on and saying, hey, this is my favorite season. This is the most fun I've had. When you were the guy, but it was because, the guy wasn't there. That's weird to me, right? And then
he did finish second in the East, basically leading that team the entire year, and he had a pretty damn good season. I can understand why he, in his mind, was like, hey, I was finally given the opportunity, and I rose to the occasion, and I took us to the second best record, minus Detroit having an out-of-body experience here.
Yeah, but it just gives Kyrie and not handles Kyrie and finals comeback Kyrie, but disgruntled
finals
Kyrie.
MVP Jaylen
Flat Earth Kyrie go play for another team Kyrie.
He would go play for Cleveland now.
Well, there you go. Is he going to lose interest when he comes here? When Jaylen Brown gets here, is he going to lose interest right away if things don't go his way from the jump? If it's
Donovan Mitchell,
yeah,
it's his team.
Yeah.
He's going to get what he wants, and he's going to have a pretty good nucleus because that means Mobley stays. These guys stay. Maybe James Harden sticks around too at that point because why not? Fuck it.
I mean, that's fair, though. You're right. It would be his team at that point because Donovan would be the 1B.
Yeah.
Whether he wants it or not, he's going to have to be. I mean, but yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know.
So I'll put Chad for
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Yeah.
like 51-49 for it, but I don't know. It makes me nervous too.
2 more names. This would be for Mobley. This would not be for Donovan. I know we kind of went on that tangent for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do Evan Mobley for
No.
Bam Adebayo?
Oh, I thought that was a different question. Sorry.
Oh my God, Chad.
No.
Hey, Midnight Runs next hour, pal. Chill out.
Yeah, that's the midnight discussions. You guys can talk about would you do Bam Adebayo, but that's
Oh my God.
Bam Adebayo for Evan Mobley.
I don't think the Heat would do it, but I do it in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Would you?
Evan's younger.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
Scored 80 points in a game. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he showed he can do it. I don't know.
Well, that was fun. Sure. He also took 904 shots that night, but
50.
whatever.
Shot a lot of free throws.
At least he's got like that. He's got a little bit of dog in him, right? Like he's got some grit that I think Evan Mobley doesn't have. And listen, Evan Mobley's it seems like, I don't know. He seems like a really nice guy. Really good basketball player, but he just doesn't really have that thing, man, that X factor, whatever that is that you can't always put your finger on with guys, but you know it, you see it on their face, like Kobe, right? You can see it, Kobe Bryant, you can see it on his face. Jordan, I'm old. I grew up watching Michael Jordan. You could see it on his face when the game was about to change.
He'd smear the sweat off his brow.
Yeah, right. LeBron, you could see it on his face. Like you knew when he was focused. You know, you're like, we're about to get LeBron night. It's going to be like a 45, 19 and 11 night. Like we're gonna see something. Bam has that from time to time, more so than Evan Mobley, because Evan Mobley really doesn't ever push it to the next level, right? He's just out there playing basketball. Maybe I would. I think I would.
Yeah, and Bam controls the Miami Heat offense. Like, I mean, the fact that he's not like the craziest ball handler. I think Evan's got him there, but I don't care. The fact
Bam brings that ball up.
Yeah. But I'm saying if you were to argue, like, to really get down to it, like, I think Evan has a slight advantage ball handling. But to that point, I still think Bam Adebayo is a better scorer. Yeah. I think he's a better rebounder. I think he's just as good, if not better, at times than Evan Mobley on defense.
Just more aggressive, really.
He's physical. He's very physical. And dude, we'd have the all-time leading scorer in a basketball game besides Will Chamberlain. That's never happened in the modern day, shall I say? All right, Kyle, you got one more, pal?
Yeah. So I guess Bam's a double yes. So that's the only person on the list so far that we said yes to both here. That's interesting. The last player.
Listen, I ripped on him for that 83-point game. I want to be clear. I ripped on him endlessly for that game. But go ahead.
Yeah, he did what he had to do. It kind of comes twofold, but it depends on monies. Would you do, or would you trade for? Sorry, Chad. Would you trade for Evan Mobley for a combination of some sort of Jaren Jackson from Utah and Walker Kessler?
Dude,
I don't want to do another trade with Utah. I'm out. I like Donovan Mitchell, but I don't need any.
This has nothing to do with Donovan Mitchell. This is two players that can fill
scared.
Some roles that
I've got PTSD from trades.
Don't let that.
Don't jazz it up. Don't do this. Don't jazz it up. Don't do this.
That's funny. That's hilarious. But don't think about the team. Think about the players and the need that you have on this roster. Okay. Then come to me with a clear decision about what you'd want. If you say no, that's fine. But just think about the players first.
Do homework? I have to do stuff overnight?
No, you're a knowledgeable man. You know who Jaren Jackson is, a former defensive player, a former defensive player of the year, a guy who took the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant deep into a playoff run he's that kind of guy that can still shoot. He scores. Defense, rebounding. He runs the floor. Effort is a big thing for him too.
How old is
traded for him? He's got to be mid to late 20s.
Jaren Jackson, I believe he's 26. I want to just double check here. He is 26 years old. Yep, 26.
Okay. Evan Mobley's 24. So I mean, they're getting 2 years younger. That's another stage in their rebuild. You probably have to include another piece to make the money work to get Walker Kessler too. But in this scenario, you trade for those two guys, and then you bring in LeBron as your small forward. That's your new front court. Those three, the size, the ability to run the floor, play defense, rebound defense.
I give you a question to your question. Do we get Lauri Markkanen in this deal from you?
No, we don't. Unfortunately, no. He's there. He's
okay.
Yeah. He couldn't. It's too bad he's never been a Cavalier or could never be again. Oh well.
It's money too. Lauri got a big contract. Yeah.
I know, and he's playing out of his mind in Utah, and I've been upset about it. Even when the trade happened, I know Donovan's been great at times for us. I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm frustrated with right now.
Yeah.
But Lauri Markkanen, man, I was really upset when the trade happened that he was one of the pieces. I mean, I was like, dude, that's actually.
He was young too. He was like 24 when they traded him
I
at
know,
23,
and
he was
he's
scoring and doing everything.
Gotta give to get, though, right?
I would say no, man. I would say no, Kyle, because I think at that point, and you brought up they're interesting names. I mean, there'd definitely be some names you'd have to sit down and think about if you are Kobe Altman getting that call. I just think besides Bam, straight up for Mobley, and you got to make whatever first round or whatever.
The money would work, but I mean,
but I'm sure
they want to pick or something. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, exactly right. So
somebody want to pick one of the two.
Exactly, but besides that, I would say there are some interesting names. I just think, okay, call me crazy. I have a suggestion before we go to break. We have about another 20 minutes here before AA gets unhinged for a midnight run. I have a question for you. We're talking about all these hypotheticals, and they were great with Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. Now, Anthony Edwards out there in Minnesota has been talking about how he's a little frustrated. They don't need to change anything, though the rumor is they're going to entertain and see what's out there, as they should. I'm just mentioning that in Minnesota, if I do recall correctly, Rudy Gobert, who once played with Donovan Mitchell, is out there. Would the Timberwolves entertain? And the Cavs would have to give up more than Donovan. I'm clearly aware that they would have to give up more than Donovan. They'd probably have to attach a pick or something there. Would you entertain Donovan Mitchell for Anthony Edwards? Again, out of all the hypotheticals, it's a long shot. But it's worth mentioning that the ties with his former guy, who he did make the playoffs with, and they had a lot of chemistry, and Rudy Gobert is there, and Anthony Edwards has mentioned that he wants to win an NBA championship. He comes here, you bring in LeBron still, you bring in Giannis, you go out, if you figure out a way to bring in a true point guard, and that's your team. Again, a long shot.
Wait. You're trading for Anthony Edwards and you're bringing in Giannis. Who are we trading? Do we have anybody?
Mitchell would go to Minnesota and then Mobley would go to Milwaukee. That's
correct. Correct.
Almost straight up or picks or whatever.
You're giving all
much, yeah.
Okay. You're clearing the cupboard in terms of first round picks. You don't have any.
That's a full blow up, and I will tell you right now, Minnesota will never trade Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
I don't care if you put Donovan Mitchell and Mobley in a package, they wouldn't trade him. I promise you, with everything in my soul, he is the very last person they will ever trade. The only way they will trade him, he's under contract. The only way they will trade him is if he is about to say, he says, I'm leaving at the end of this year, which he won't do because he's smart. He's going to make his money.
All
he's
I'm saying,
hold them hostage.
I get it. But all I'm saying, Kyle, is I said it's a long shot, but I want to say Minnesota.
It's no shot. They won't even take that call.
I want to sit there and say, hold on, let me finish my point. I want to say Minnesota's just not going to trade Anthony Edwards because it's never happened. Oh, wait, they traded Kevin Garnett in his prime to Boston. So it's happened before. There's track record.
Not the same player.
It's a long shot, but it's the same franchise. And it's another star that is not
the
getting
same
it done
owners.
and running into the same. They're running into the same problem. They're running into the same problem with Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, they're also running into the fact that the West, you had two teams that drafted really well, and they're just better team. Like I thought you were going to say trade Rudy Gobert for like Jared Allen or something like that.
No, I said it's a long shot.
That. But there will not. I promise you, it's a different. We try to compare like eras of teams with different owners because they're the same team. It makes absolutely no sense. Just because a team did something before with different people in charge doesn't mean it's going to happen 20 some years later with this, because they're also wear Minnesota on their chest, or they wear LA on their chest, or whatever it is. Like that's like
I just want to shut it down as a no. I just want to shut it down as the no shot. Anthony Edwards,
it's not going to happen. There's not a team. There's not a player they would take.
Another postseason run that he fell short.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to continue to grow frustrated. He was frustrated at the end of this one. I said it's a long shot. I was very clear by saying that. I just want to make sure I said that again, that it was a long shot. But the fact that we're shutting down that Anthony Edwards wouldn't be Minnesota, if you wouldn't want to leave Minnesota, if he's not winning, and the ultimate goal for Anthony Edwards, who's been wanting to win in his entire, he's a winner.
Should,
he's not,
but yeah.
Well, some of them are in for the money.
You just watched the team tonight.
Correct.
I know. Yeah.
So that's all I'll say. Long shot. I'm not saying this offseason, but he could be traded. That's all I'll say.
How long is left on his contract?
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, like that. Because again, if it's a contract year, Eli, and it's a one-off, kind of like the Kawhi thing in San Antonio, then that's one thing. Because then, okay, what can we get for him? Because he's made it clear he's not happy, he wants to leave, that kind of stuff. Then they start entertaining offers that include some of those other superstars, that kind of stuff. But if he's got 3 years, 4 years on his contract, something like that, I'm sorry, he's not going anywhere. Like, it's just not Luka, when he got traded, signed the extension in LA. Like, it's got to be in those 1 to 2 years in that contract window where it's like, okay, I actually have leverage. Because right now he can be as mad as he wants. He has none. He's not going anywhere if he has years on his contract.
Anthony Edwards' contract is up in 2028.
So he's got 2 more seasons after this one?
Yep.
So next year is a year to watch. Next year, going into next offseason, because he'll have 1 year left.
Well, you
That's
just
when
said there
things
was
get
no
crazy.
shot they would ever trade him. So
If he had
just,
3 to 4 years. Now, if you're going to say, hold on, let me finish my point, I'm going to tell you too, like it's got to be a time frame for it. If he's got 2 years left, he's right on that fringe of he needs to play one more season there before they decide. They'll make some trades of the other guys, because who gives a fuck about Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert or none of these fuckers? They care about Anthony Edwards. He's the star. He's 24, 25, whatever it is. He's the guy you build around because he's the small forward, shooting guard, whatever. He's that kind of guy, that wing that you propel and put front and center. But you're not going to get rid of him just because he's a little upset that you haven't gotten past some of the best teams that we're going to see in this past decade or 2 decades, the way that OKC and San Antonio are geared up to play. I will talk about this with you next offseason. If they play him out in the first round again or whatever it is, then okay, he's got a year left. That's when teams will really try to take a shot at Anthony Edwards. Some of those teams that are kind of hanging around, like, the Utahs, maybe Boston doesn't do well again next year, or they lose in the first round. They throw, Brown or Tatum or one of those guys, they kind of fling them out like, hey, what about this? That kind of stuff. That's one thing. But again, if I'm objectively, if I'm Minnesota, there's not a player or two on the Cavs I'd want instead of Anthony Edwards. I don't want Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley for Anthony Edwards. I think he's better than both of them. I don't want that. Like, that's not good enough. If they're going to make that move, it's to beat San Antonio. It's to beat OKC. Those two,
they're further away, but they're closer to a rebuild than they are to beating those teams.
I was going to say,
went to the Western Conference semifinals.
They are closer to tearing it down as a roster. Julius Randle, he's a trade discussion point this offseason. He's more than likely out of Minnesota, and they're going to eventually look to reshape this team is all I'm saying. So why would Anthony Edwards keep going? I just don't know why Anthony Edwards would keep going with that.
It's not up to him. No, it's not. He's not a free agent. He can't just say, I don't want to play here anymore. See ya. Like,
we've never seen players ever say that before and get traded and get their way.
Not with multiple years left on their contract. No, in their contract year, yes, you can, because you have leverage. He has none. Okay. It's common sense. It's not that you're making a bad point. I understand what you're saying. He isn't in that time frame yet. I said next offseason he will be. He's only got a year left. Teams will trade with him with the avenue. Okay, we can sign him to a longer term extension because we only get him for the year. He uses leverage to get out. Right now, he's stuck. And they're going to do what they can because they want to keep him happy. And if it's not enough, it's not enough. But I'm telling you right now, Minnesota probably looks at the Cavs, and I guarantee you they say Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, does that really put us in a better spot? They will want one of those two guys, and they want a bunch of picks and another young player or something like that. They probably want Mobley, all the picks in the world, and they want a third team so they can get another pseudo kind of fringe all-star type player. Because if you're trading Anthony Edwards, who is one of the top 10 players in this league, Donovan Mitchell is a fringe top 20 guy right now. Evan Mobley's not even in the fucking conversation anymore. Like, he by hook or by crook and by coaching and by his usage, he has fallen out of that. It's potential. That's all you're banking on with Evan Mobley now is potential, and he's been in the league for 5 years. I know that's not considered a veteran to some people on this broadcast, but he's been around long enough at this point. He is what he is, and he's not what he's not. The system matters, but at the same point, what you're kind of seeing is what you're kind of going to get. At the best, you're going to get a 20-10 guy. At the worst, he's going to disappear for half the fucking Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know. Is that good enough for Anthony Edwards at that point? Probably not. I'm sorry. It's just not.
Yeah,
they're going to say
I
Jason
said they
Tatum.
were going to have to give up the farm. I was very clear. I don't know if I
the
was breaking
farm,
up there.
the land in the back room, the acres in the back, the pigs in the corner.
And if you're the Cavaliers, you would do it. If you're the Cavaliers, you would do it. You just lost 4-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals. What are
the Cavs do it in a heartbeat. Cavs do it in a heartbeat. Minnesota won't.
If you're
Eli, analytically, they played really well, though. Analytically, it's 2-2. It's not. They didn't lose. It's 2.
You're right.
Yeah,
no, it's 3-1 analytically.
Scoreboard doesn't matter. Yeah, scoreboard doesn't matter.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up. Cavs do lose 4-0 in the series, 130-93 over to the New York Knicks. Knicks are the first finals since 1999. That's Kyle Cornell to our right, Chad Bryan in the middle. I'm Eli Moon. We're back right after this.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime. Cavs Game 4 postgame here on the Inside Edge Network. Cavs losers tonight and losers of the series. They have been swept by the New York Knicks, 130-93. The New York Knicks advancing to their first NBA Finals since 1999. And we've been dissecting it all here when it comes to the Cavaliers, what they should do in the offseason, and who stays, who goes. That seems to be the question. Kyle Cornell to my right, your right. Chad Bryan in the middle, and I am Eli Moon. We are back here for the final few moments of Cavaliers postgame. And, yeah, we've talked about quite a bit here. Midnight Run with Anthony Alford to follow at midnight. I'm sure he'll have some very pleasant things to say about the Cavaliers. If you've been enjoying the content thus far and all week long, make sure you like, subscribe, follow all that great stuff at Inside Edge Net on all the socials, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, all that great stuff. InsideEdgeNetwork.com, the website where you can read about all your favorite personalities like Kyle, Chad, and myself, and everybody else. You can read about all of the talent on the Inside Edge Network.
Yeah.
Check out the partners page. QR code takes you right to the InsideEdgeNetwork.com. And, of course, the shop. All the great stuff. Mugs, windbreakers, shirts, polos, hats, all the great stuff. Promo code INSIDER, 20% off your order till the end of May. Till the end of May, 20% off your order. A lot of great stuff there at InsideEdgeNetwork.com. All right, final few minutes here, fellas. We have dissected quite a bit. I'll open the floor to both of you. Thoughts, final, I guess, thoughts here on the Cavaliers season. We'll have more as we dive into the offseason, but now that it has been put to rest, final thoughts on the Cavaliers regular season and where I guess they go from here in a synopsis here in the final few minutes.
I don't Kyle, you're the guest, and I honestly have run out of words to talk about this team. So you go ahead.
Just want to say that I'm proud of Chad for finally embracing the headline underneath the name and really kind of going for it there. I love it. Can't wait for analytical game 5 Wednesday at 8:00.
So excited. Yeah. I think the analytical, about 8:00. It's going to be on analytical ESPN, I think.
Yeah. Mine was simple. I just said burn it down because honestly, at this point, I don't know what to tell you guys when it comes to the Cavs. I mean, I think there needs to be a serious talk about coaching. And I know, Kyle, they're one of the final 4 teams. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, all this progress. I mean, they didn't get this far with anyone else, not named Ty Lue or whatever, or David Blatt. Like, it's like, okay. But the way they looked and the give up, a coach has to be able to motivate his team. And he has to be able to say, hey, we're down to, we're going home. Like, this is our place. We've only lost once here in the playoffs. We're one of the better home teams and have one of the better home crowds in all of the league. We need to be able to protect this court and show the effort. Win or lose, whatever. We're going out there and we're going to fight.
Yeah.
And he showed a lack of fight. He showed an okayness with the analytical side of these games instead of the anatomical parts of these games, which is like the final fucking score and how that matters and what it means. Exactly. It's 100% important. And again, this is the Paul D. Podesta word lines of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that, we won 2 out of 3 analytically, which again will go down as one of the worst quotes in Cleveland sports history. And it may be the reason why he gets fired, because Kenny Atkinson wasn't honest. He didn't say we get our teeth kicked in for 2 games and a half a quarter and an overtime, and we haven't had an answer. And you know what? I need to challenge these guys, because do we want it? Ty Lue went up into that fucking ceiling in Game 5. They won that game at Golden State and put the money in the rafters and said, we're coming back to collect. Like, we're not fucking done. I don't care what the series says. I don't care. We're coming back here. We're getting that. You need someone like that, whether it's Jason Kidd or someone else. I don't know. But there are candidates out there that make sense, that have been here, done that, and have shown that kind of fight in their careers or in their coaching history. This needs to happen. The fact that Mike Brown is going back to another finals just blows my mind as a head coach. Blows my mind at this point. Kudos to him. Kudos to the Knicks. They played the hand they were dealt, and they got a royal flush 2 times in a row. So good for them. They're moving on. The Cavs, who knows? But I promise you this team will not run it back. They can't, because if they do,
no,
you're not getting anything out of it. I'm sorry. It's going to be bad, and the fans will lose their shit.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if you put this team back out the way they're constructed now, if they did not get as far as they did this year. They got pretty lucky a couple of times in that Pistons series, let's be honest. Couldn't close it out in Game 6 at home. Went into Detroit in Game 7, and Detroit kind of, they crapped down their legs a little bit, right? But they only really had one offensive option, so we kind of knew that was a possibility coming in. But, the fact that you have Kenny Atkinson leading this team, who has no real alpha when it comes to whether, I don't care if it's on the bench, on the court, in the locker room, there's no one here to hold this team accountable. I mean, Kenny Atkinson, analytically we won this expected score, whatever you look at, that's the equivalent of a participation trophy, right? Like, that's what you tell, like, when kids play youth sports and they're just learning the game, and let's go have fun, right? We don't care if we win or lose. We're going to have fun. We're going to trust the process. I think he said trust the process even at some point. So we're taking that from Philadelphia. That's not acceptable. And I think that ultimately should be, if he doesn't get fired, I think he should be. And I'm not a big fire the coach guy, fire the coach, whatever, bring in another guy. But listen, that's as good of an example of dropping the ball as you can as a head coach. and I know you're not going to go out and, personally throw guys under the bus, but I mean, you can send a message through the media to your team in a better way than go, well, hey, I mean, I know we got our, like I said, our teeth kicked in, but analytically, pretty good, right? Pretty good. 3 quarters of basketball, really, really great. Really, really great basketball for 3. I was physically disgusted watching him and hearing him say that. I couldn't take it. He can't come back. This team can't come back the way they're constructed, and you can't put Kenny Atkinson back in front of this team. Or I don't know. I just think it's good. You got to not blow it up and not completely burn it down and rebuild, but you've got to retool a roster that can go out there and, my God, I mean, compete. It was embarrassing tonight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have a lot of thoughts. I mean, 2 hours or 1 hour and a half, whatever have you, it was not enough. We'll have thoughts all week long here, I'm sure, about the Cavaliers and what they'll do this offseason. Long on Filter with Kyle Cornell, which you can check out 5 to 6 p.m. weekdays here on the Inside Edge Network. Yep. And Chad and I here on Inside Edge Primetime, 10 to 11 p.m. weeknights on the Inside Edge Network. Like, subscribe, follow all the great stuff, Inside Edge Net. Of course, check out the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. And stay locked in here because we've had some thoughts. It's about time. The Keurig I think it was brewed up in about the second quarter. He might join the screen here. I don't think he did. He did not yet. He will join, however, after station identification.
Here, shorty. Here, shorty.
This is
Come
the
on
end
now, Stump.
of Inside Edge Primetime.
Can you hear this, Kyle? Oh, can you hear this? Is the audio clear?
I didn't know tree stumps could drive from Chicago and back. How'd that go?
Oh, it was great. I'm so excited for tomorrow's show. I'm going to talk all about it. I'm more excited about tomorrow's show than tonight's show. Yeah. I can't wait. I could even, Kyle, I know you watch Raw tonight. I'm like, this is not fair. I can't even enjoy it. I'll watch it tomorrow. Because of what we're about to talk about in these next 60 minutes plus.
Well, best of luck to you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. That's going to do it for Inside Edge Primetime Cavs game
Sorry,
for post game on our end. It's all good, Double A. We'll see him in just a second. Station identification and when we return. Midnight Run with Anthony Alford. All the way back from Chicago, Illinois. For Kyle Cornell, Chad Bryan, I'm Eli Moon.
It's so hard to say goodbye.
By the way, are we all wearing black?
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's a funeral.
Bye.
We are.
Everyone say with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. Demonetized. All right.
We didn't know what to say. You just said say it with me. We didn't know.
I sent in an email earlier today. Nobody read it.
Yeah, we don't read emails. Yeah,
we don't do that
here. All right, that's gonna do it. I think I'm losing control. I think I've lost the wheel. We're screwed. And so are the Cavs. They got a long off season. We'll be with you all week long, however. Kyle Cornell on Filter 5 to 6 p.m. Chad and I 10 to 11. And of course, Double A, as you've already seen, he's come out from the curtain. And he'll be with you all the way till 1 a.m. Midnight Run next.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Our Cavs coverage continues here tonight as the season embarrassingly comes to a close. Cavaliers, their season comes to an end. They lose 130-93 to the New York Knicks, who's on their way to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. And we'll have plenty of time in these coming weeks to talk about the NBA Finals because I think it's going to be a very, very compelling series. Whoever the Knicks play, whether it's OKC or San Antonio, we'll have plenty of time. And as a basketball fan, I'm actually looking forward to that series. But today, the focus is on the Cavs. The focus is honestly, I thought about sending a little I thought about sending to our team an NBA Finals post-game schedule because analytically they won. So I was going to send out something like, Wednesday night or Wednesday, June, whatever date, whatever Eli, Chad, and Kyle will have game one. And then, I'll do midnight run at 2 a.m. because the Cavaliers are analytically in it. I had a whole thing mapped out. It was ready to go. I should have hit publish. It was ready. The game obviously was very painful. And I know the whole series was painful because all the bad habits, everything caught up to the Cavaliers. This team, it's obvious. You guys are smart. I mean, we're going to go beyond surface level tonight. Here are the basics. Everybody's talked about it. You've talked about it at home. Kenny Atkinson's not good enough to lead a championship team, and he blew it. So he should be fired or should be let go later this morning. We know that. And hopefully Dan Gilbert will follow through with that. We know that this team is currently constructed not good enough to win a championship. You could throw the excuses out the window in terms of, they only have 7 regular season games. No big deal. We all see it. You see it. I see it. Our teams, Eli, Chad, and Kyle talked about it. Obviously, this team is currently constructed not good enough to win and compete for a title. They could win games. If you ran this back next year, they're going to win regular season games. They're going to win regular season games. But when it comes playoff time, it's not happening, and they don't have the mental toughness. We all know that the series was over when they blew the 22-point lead with 7 minutes to go, 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter or the fourth quarter of game one. That we know. But let's talk about how it all happened, why it all happened. And with respect to my colleagues, there's really only a couple of moves that the Cavaliers could legitimately do that would make this a championship contender moving forward. But before we move forward, let's rewind for a hot second. We obviously have post-game sound from tonight. I don't even know if we're going to play any of it. What I do want to play, 2 months ago on a Tuesday night against Orlando, Cavaliers beat Orlando 136-131. Now, why do I bring up a random regular season Tuesday night game? Why do I bring it up? Because it was this particular game. It was nationally televised on NBC. It was this particular game where, yes, the Cavaliers, 136 points, very impressive. But it was also this particular game where Kenny Atkinson completely ripped his team. Completely ripped his team for bad habits, for a ton of things, about poor defensive play. I believe Eli, this particular cut, don't play it yet, but this particular cut is 324 Atkinson 01. Thanks, Eli. We're going to play it in 2 seconds. I want everybody to pay very close attention. I know life has happened in the last 2 months, so you might have forgotten. But I did not forget about what was said. I've never heard a head coach be critical of his team as much as Kenny Atkinson was about his team at that moment. Now, when we play it, pay attention to the words. I mean, the first few seconds was about that night's game in particular, blah, blah, blah. But by the 5 or 10 second mark, really pay close attention to what he said. And then in the back of your head, all the stuff that you have seen from the Cavaliers, you watching at home, all the stuff that we've talked about with the Cavaliers. I want you to think in your head, did this team listen to what Kenny had to say? Did they make any adjustments based on what Kenny had to say? And if the answer is no to any of those questions, where did things go wrong? Let's go ahead and play it, Eli.
I just told the team in the locker room, if we're going to play defense like this, we're going to have a short playoff stint. So, right now we have a mentality that we're just going to outscore people. And we all know when it comes playoff time, it's not going to be that easy offensively. You're not always going to shoot like we're scoring now. So if we're giving up 132 points, 128, I don't know, seems like every game, we're not going anywhere. Everything. So it's the compete level, and then along with the compete level, there's an IQ level, an understanding of the game. So if you're slipping in both areas, you give up 132 points. And the last part of that is communication, right? So if your compete level's not there defensively, you're missing closeouts or not understanding personnel. That's the IQ part, right? And then they're sliding in for offensive rebounds all the time, and that's so we got to decide. We got 2 weeks to figure it out, and that's a challenge for this group. But right now, we just think we can outscore people.
That clip was from post-game of the Cavs Orlando Magic regular season game from March 24th. I come to you now. It's now officially May 26th. And through my eyes, through your eyes, through Eli's eyes, I'm not speaking for Eli, but I'm sure he would agree with what I'm about to say. None of those, nothing that Kenny Atkinson said was addressed. Maybe it was said, maybe it was discussed, maybe it was, hey, we need to do this better, but none of the players actually did it. And there was no strategy going into how to change anything that Kenny Atkinson brought up in that clip. Now, you can't say, oh, yeah, the Cavs did not have a short stint in the playoffs. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You can say that, but you went up against a Toronto team that was offensively challenged, and you still had to go all the way to Game 7. And then you went up against a Detroit Pistons team that towards the end, again, was offensively challenged, and you still had to go to Game 7. You needed a come-from-behind victory to win Game 5. You blew it at home in Game 6, and then Jared Allen bailed you out in Game 7. Again, giving Jared Allen credit for Game 7 against Toronto and Detroit, but the point still remains. Not communicating. Boy, look at those fast break points, right? Even tonight, fast break points. New York had 33 fast break points. Boy, not being able to close out defensively. New York scored 130 points tonight. This is not an isolated thing. This team is not smart enough to compete for an NBA title. They're not. The basketball IQ is not there. It never was there. They were looking, as Kenny was talking about, they got away with things in the regular season because talent-wise, they could outscore you. Talent-wise. But up here, they never had what it takes. They don't have what it takes. They didn't have what it takes to overcome certain bad habits, a ton of bad habits. And what you witness here today, yes, they quit. They were piss poor. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. But this is not an isolated situation where New York just flat out overpowered Cleveland and called it a day. This is bad habits catching up. And here's one other thing. A ton of other things, but one in particular about what we just played. The way that series played out, let's not act like, oh, if the Cavaliers would have held on and won Game 1, they would have closed out and won this series. Absolutely not. We still would have lost the series in 5. New York would have won the next 4 games. They would have won the next 4 games. If your emotions are that Vadertold, like if it's that high of a swing, New York was going to come right back and swing and knock you out. So game one, in terms of the bigger picture, in terms of bad habits, game one is effing pointless. The only difference, this became a real sweep, not a gentleman's sweep. That's the difference. That's it. That's all. Actually, if you want to go into this offseason saying, man, if we would have kept the lead in game one, you're missing the entire point of why this team is an absolute failure. You're missing the whole point. Now, I thought our team here at the network did an incredible job, not just tonight, but all throughout the playoffs. And I thought, Eli, Chad, and Kyle, they went through all the trade possibilities, all the moves that the Cavaliers could go through this offseason. And I will honestly defer to those guys because they're a little better on, putting in a trade machine and things like that. That's the one thing I kind of struggle with is the trade machine. But to me, there's only one move that I guess a combination of moves, I should say, technically, that makes sense considering where you're at in the Eastern Conference. We'll talk about that when we come back from break. Also, Kenny Smith has some very, very strong words for the Cavaliers and what they need to do in the future. And I echo what he said. We'll have that for you coming up in just a little bit. But as we go to break, let's hear from James Harden. Let's play James Harden 02, Eli, as we go to break. Does James Harden believe in this group?
Yeah, we're a very, very talented group. Like I said, you go through. We don't have the experience with playing amongst each other in playoff postseason basketball. So literally, it's our first time going through whatever we were going to go through, and I think we accomplished a lot. Winning a Game 7 at home, winning a Game 7 on the road, and getting to the conference finals. Now we have to take another 2 steps, starting this summer, but take another 2 steps and being even better. Now you get a full season of understanding what we have as a group and setting ourselves up, positioning-wise, for better. Being a 4th seed it's tough, So, yeah, you take a step at a time.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick. With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh. I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
I have confidence in myself, first of all, confidence in the group, the roster talk, that's for down the line. Our front office has done a phenomenal job. Like I said, giving us a great roster. Obviously there'll be decisions to be made like every summer. But I think we're doing pretty well with those decisions since I've been here. So just keep trusting our process, trust our collaboration.
Welcome back to the show, Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. Like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net across all social media platforms, including here on Twitter, YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you see the notification bell, hit that bell. And again, we're on 7 days a week, live and local, digital leader of sports, entertainment, news, mental health, all that good stuff. We got you covered each and every single day right here on the Inside Edge Network. InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you can get the information. All right. Excuse me. Oh, man. Don't you hate, by the way, when you got to sneeze, but it takes like a minute for it to actually happen? My Lord. Real quick, that was Kenny Atkinson talking about a pipe dream. Thank you, Eli. Eli texted me, bless you. Thank you. Oh, man. Those are the worst, man. Those are the worst. I got to laugh about something today. That was Kenny Atkinson talking about how he believes his team has a bright future. Yeah, on 2K. Listen. We talked about the surface level stuff. Matter of fact, I did see. This is what TNT. This was their Gone Fishing. TNT, ESPN, Inside the NBA. Again, kudos to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. They were at Game 3. We'll have a banner up for that. And then Drew Carey, Geraldo Rivera's up there and on the boat. And I don't know who the other guy is on the boat with Geraldo, but that's there. Yeah, that's the Gone Fishing. Boy, they look like they care. Travis Kelce slumped. How about that? Again, that's courtesy of TNT and ESPN. All right, we're not going to beat around the bush anymore. We got some great comments, too. Maybe. Yeah. Analytically, we should be celebrating today's W. Analytically, yeah, that's my guy Terry. Yeah, maybe it'll actually blow up the team. All right, we're not going to beat around the bush anymore. I heard everything Kyle said about all the moves that the Cavs could make this offseason, and none of the moves are bad. Those are great great options. Those are moves that the Cavs should look into, but this is where things are tricky. And we're going to play Kenny Smith here in a few seconds. The Cavs are in such a tough spot because you have to change the culture, but also you have to change the identity. That's the other thing. I kind of don't even know what the identity of this team really, honestly, it turned into the James Harden show. The fact that James Harden had more minutes than Donovan Mitchell speaks more volume about Donovan Mitchell than anything. I don't know. But you're seeing right now, there's only a few teams that are up there in terms of winning a title. Basically, the phone call you need to make if you're the Cavaliers is to Rich Paul. That's the phone call you need to make tonight. I know Dan Gilbert, and Dan Gilbert loves his team. He loves the Cavs. He is desperate for this Cavs team to win. And I feel bad for Dan Gilbert. I popped on at halftime for like 2 seconds tonight because I felt bad for Dan Gilbert. Dan Gilbert tweeted right after the game, or a little bit after the game, we took a step ahead this spring, but we are nowhere near where we need to be. I can't thank the fans enough for the support this year. We will dig in all summer and do everything we possibly can to take the next step. We will grind until we get there. And then he said, congrats to the Knicks. Best of luck in the finals. Business people who are in business, they understand business, and personal feelings gets put to the side. Dan Gilbert loves Cleveland. When Dan Gilbert understands, if you get on Cleveland's side as a owner, you're set for life. Because of Dan Gilbert's health in terms of where he's at medically, right? He's not going to sit around for a complete rebuild. I don't think that's happening. I think there's actually a greater chance of this team running it back than a rebuild. I'm not saying it would be the right move, but Dan Gilbert, he's invested too much money. That ain't happening. A rebuild is not happening. But there's only one phone call to make, and that's to Rich Paul. Because you're going to have to sell LeBron on coming here. Yes, LeBron coming home is fantastic. It's the storybook ending. It's lovely. But you have to sell that to him. LeBron, unrestricted free agent, could go anywhere. We can go anywhere. I'm hearing, Golden State. I'm hearing the Clippers. I even heard something over the weekend about the Wizards, of all places. But, and you can make a point like all the Wizards have, Trae Young, a couple pieces. They whatever. New York, Boston, you get the point. LeBron literally can go anywhere. He can stay in LA. So you have to sell him on Cleveland, not just the fairy tale book ending. So you're going to have to call Rich Paul. You're going to have to look at Rich Paul and say, what can we do? What do we need to do to get LeBron here? The obvious answer, honestly, would be pair him with Giannis. How do you do that? Giannis, rumor has it, he's looking for new representation. It could be very well possible that Giannis could be represented by Rich Paul as the spring turns into summer. And then obviously, both LeBron and Giannis both love Jason Kidd. And that's where the Jason Kidd comes into play. You got to go hard and sell the idea of Giannis, LeBron, Jason Kidd. And then from there, who would be the other piece to that? Honestly, it probably would be Donovan Mitchell. So you have to sell the idea to LeBron James that a Giannis, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron super team can win a championship. And I think it could. I think honestly, because in the Eastern Conference, Boston's not going to be they're not going to be messing around again next year and fall short in the first round. They're not going to blow a 3-1 lead in the first round next year. New York is obviously going to still be there. And then Tyrese Halliburton's going to be back for Indiana. Toronto's going to be better. Detroit is going to retool and get better. They're young. Now they got the experience. They're going to get better. I mentioned Toronto, Orlando, Washington. The Wizards. They shut down a couple players. Wizards are going to be around. Eastern Conference is loaded. So this is why what Kenny Smith had to say earlier today on TNT and ESPN, why the next move that the Cavaliers make is critical. Take a look.
Ernie, can I mention, Coach Atkinson said that they took a step.
Mm-hmm.
They took a step in terms of what it looks like on paper, meaning they got to the conference finals where the last years they did not. However, they also took a step backwards because they also it showed what you're vulnerable to everyone else in the Eastern Conference. The way the Knicks beat them, they've shown how vulnerable they are. The one thing that the Cavaliers are going to have to do, it's not all about personnel. Yes, James will get older, and there's some other players that you have to think about, but they have to change their offensive strategy and philosophy. They have to include the two guys in the interior more and figure out a way to include them more, because when the game slows down, being a ball-dominant 6-second dribbler is not productive. And that's why the Knicks lost last year, because Brunson had to do the 6 seconds or more dribbling. And then this year they said, no, we're going to add people to our bench, and we're going to have more ball movement and more body movement, and we're going to be tougher to guard. So what happens today? You have the first time where you have, 130 points and no 20-point scorer.
Yeah.
Because you have spread the wealth. That is exactly what the Cleveland Cavaliers have to do if they want to move forward, because they took a step forward but they went a step backwards in terms of being vulnerable.
And that was Kenny Smith, courtesy of TNT and ESPN. Yeah, I mean, they're exactly right. I mean, the Knicks, look at the box score. Not a single person scored. Karl Anthony Towns was the highest scorer with 19 points. Knicks had, let me make sure I get this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knicks has 6 players in double figures tonight, by the way. 6 players in double figures. Donovan Mitchell had 31 points tonight. The next highest score was Evan Mobley with 15 points. James Harden had 12 points. Jared Allen has 6. By the way, kudos to Thomas Bryant. In garbage time, he had 10 points. Eli.
Hi, Double A. What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back home. Did you miss Cleveland?
Yeah, we suck.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, brother.
Okay, so real quick, I'm so excited about tomorrow's show. I went to Chicago over the weekend. There's some things that I learned because I went there by myself, visited some friends. They just moved out to Chicago a month ago. It was great. A lot of things to talk about. I changed up the radio dial. I like to listen to different stations across, the area. So I got something from Detroit radio that we need to share, and I got a little something from Chicago radio that I need to share with you tomorrow night. Both baseball related. Tune in tomorrow. Eli and Chad already talked about one of the things I brought up because I called both of them separately about it on Friday. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Now this, it's. Can we get the surface level stuff out of the way first, Eli? Obviously, this team's not good enough to win an NBA championship. Obviously, Kenny Atkinson needs to be let go. Obviously, this is a fine team for the regular season, but they have major flaws, and it probably won't be corrected.
Yes.
So, because of all of that, I think Kenny Smith's comments about what they need to do to take a step forward and things like that, I think because of that, I honestly believe I go back to what you said on these airwaves where they're not going to rebuild, but they're going to retool the Cavaliers. But I almost feel that just a simple retool is not enough. Let me start with what I said previously. I think you got to make a hard sales pitch to Rich Paul, LeBron, Giannis, and I would assume Jason Kidd is a part of that conversation. And to be realistic, Donovan Mitchell is a part of that conversation.
Yeah, it just depends with Donovan. I mean, I'm going to continue to say that. Donovan Mitchell on paper tonight looked phenomenal. If you look at the Cavs box score, yes, he had 31 points, 9 of 18, 4 rebounds, an assist, a steal. I mean, man, where was this Donovan Mitchell in games 2 and 3? Where was Donovan Mitchell at? So that's another discussion I don't think we have enough time for today. But you wonder where his head's at and where the Cavaliers' minds are at with him. Is he the 2-star? We were talking about it on postgame. At this point, I don't know if I trust him being the 2-star. Because if his problem is being off ball, which it clearly is, he doesn't really do anything monumental off ball. So if that's the problem, you're bringing in Giannis and LeBron, where does Donovan Mitchell fit into the equation? But that's a different discussion. I think,
and an important one. We'll visit that. We have time throughout this offseason. We will come back to that at some point this week. Go ahead.
Yeah, we sure do, and we will. I'm sure of it. But it definitely starts with the other guys you mentioned, Jason Kidd, Giannis, LeBron, them being tied together. Jason Kidd and LeBron, Team USA, Giannis being, one of the former players for Jason Kidd when he was a Milwaukee Bucks head coach. So I think there's a lot of, tying, connecting the dots, putting it together. I think there's a lot there to be looked at. And I think that's what LeBron wants to do in his final year, whether it's play with Giannis or play with Steph Curry in Golden State, wherever, or if he just decides to settle and the Lakers say, you know what, we'll pay you. All right, fine, we'll pay you. And he goes and plays with Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves for his final year. He is not going to settle. We can hear the discussion, and I know, very lightly we talked about the Washington Wizards. There is not going to be discussion about any team that does not have a grade A superstar that he hasn't played with. It's not going to be a rehash. As much as I would love to see Kyrie Irving come here, we discussed a little bit, throughout the day, and Kyle Cornell talked about it on Unfiltered earlier today. It's not going to be a rehash. It's not going to be the 2016 reunion. It's not going to be him going back to Washington or going to Washington to play again with Anthony Davis.
Who would turn that down, by the way? I know the Trace will say otherwise. Remember, it was Kyrie who left that team.
Yes.
Not Bron.
Yes, and he felt slighted at the time, because of the Paul George discussions and him being even dangled in trade offers. I think that bridge has not been burned. It's actually been rekindled, I feel like, but not on the basketball court. I don't. It would take some stuff, Double. I agree with you. But there's a lot of comparisons or a lot of what is it? Just clues, hints that this would make a ton of sense. They already are familiar with each other on the court with LeBron and Jason Kidd, and coach to player with Jason Kidd to Giannis. They're both at this point in their career. LeBron is 20-something years deep into the NBA. So he is ready to just win at all costs. And I think Giannis is there too. He understands that legacy is going to be talked a lot more in the next 3 to 4 years, 5 years, as he swings on the back end of his career. I'm not saying he's 3 or 4 years and that's it, but legacy gets louder. Ask James Harden at 36 years old how loud legacy discussions get. And Giannis with one title, a few MVPs, yes, he's one of the best players in the NBA, but there's going to be a discussion about all-time greats. So I think it just makes all the sense in the world, AA, but I think you got to stay the furthest away from whatever that was for these last 4 games. They have to get away from it. You have to decide, like we did last week, what core 4 or core 3, and Harden Island, as Kyle would say, which guy are you keeping? For me, it's Jared Allen, and you see what you can get. You put the chips of Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell out on the table. You see what you can get. James Harden has a player option, so you just see who would rather take James Harden than us, because how can you sign into a multi-year extension?
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. This is what you're signing up for. If we go down this path with LeBron and Giannis and Rich Paul, because honestly, Rich Paul unofficially would be the GM of this team. Unofficially, he would be the GM of this team. They make the final. They make the calls. And Dan Gilbert, I fully believe you are not sending employees and season ticket holders to multiple games in Detroit if you're not desperate to win a championship and the window is closing. Because Dan Gilbert understands business, I think he would look and say, what do we need to do? And whatever we do, I'm rolling with it. So honestly, in terms of which core 4 member stays, I think that's a conversation. You got to talk with Clutch Sports. And whatever they say, you may have to roll with it. And that's it. And call it a day.
Well, at the end of the day, the Cavaliers have had their opportunity to do this without LeBron. And as much as, everybody in Cleveland, or at least a good portion of Cleveland, would love to see a Cavaliers championship in the post-LeBron era, the odds of that happening are very slim.
Okay,
anytime
real
soon.
Quick. I'm sorry. I know you got more. It just pop. Can I just address something? How come people, I don't want to generalize everybody.
Yeah.
How come there are certain fans here in Cleveland who are almost embarrassed about LeBron James winning a title? Like, if the idea of LeBron even coming back, there are certain fans, sports fans, Cleveland sports fans, certain Cleveland sports fans that are disgusted with the idea that LeBron James is the one guy that's bringing the title.
Yeah.
Only one in my lifetime, only one in your lifetime. Why? I don't understand certain fans who are like, we got to win a championship. We got to win a champ, but not with LeBron.
I think it's
what?
I think it's just because he's polarizing. I mean, you either love him or you hate him. And I think even in Cleveland, the spot where he spent a majority of his career, there's people that just don't like to see it, I guess. And that's honestly, Double A, that's a great question. I think that's that's like an hour show. That's literally like a midnight run in itself, because there's a lot to break down. In Cleveland, you got a lot of heartbroken fans still from 2010, 2009, the decision. You have a lot of this. And then you have the second time leaving. That's what I guess you could factor in for Cleveland. But I'm right there with you, bro. LeBron James is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Cleveland sports athlete of all time, because he brought the only championship that we've seen thus far in our lives. And he has been able to come back a second time and maybe a third time. And he's going to come back and bail us out, get Dan Gilbert a second NBA championship as the owner or the governor of the Cavaliers. And that's what it is. But I just think people like, you want the real answer? Real answer is because people don't like to see people win, regardless if they're from their city or not. They don't want to see people win, and that's just
I'll
what it
give you
is.
another real answer. I know some people don't like his politics. So effing what? Who cares?
Exactly. No, I'm with you.
Seriously, who cares? And I'm sorry to cut you off real quick, but
You're good.
go back. Give me a pro team. I'm sure somebody can pull up somebody. Well, this is the rare example. Go to any pro sports team in the last 25 years in the three major sports we have here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Major League Baseball, NBA, National Football League. Give me a team that has won their championship and they had a player that people didn't like. And you tell me, boy, well, because this person was on the team, I can't support this team because they won the title. What?
Yeah, it's silly.
How's that sound?
It's silly.
Oh, well, because, I don't like Draymond Green. So because Draymond Green, I don't like him, I'm not going to support the Golden State Warriors for winning the title. What?
Yeah, it makes no sense. At the end of the day, here's the reality of the situation. LeBron's literally the only reason people could not like him is because he wins at everything he does in life. And I know people are, I'm sure, chomping at the bits in the comments to talk about his finals record. Again, he wins at everything he does in life. He's been to a gazillion finals. He has more money than all of us combined in the city of Cleveland, right? I mean, that's just what it is. And people hate to see people win. But if LeBron's going to come back and he's going to be business oriented, which is bring a title back to Cleveland for the first time, and now we'll wait another year, it'll be 11 years, then so be it. People need to understand personal and business. You don't have to necessarily rock with LeBron and want to go sit down with him. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. I think it'd be a pretty good conversation. But if you don't want to sit down with him at lunch, that's fine. You don't have to. But if he gives us the best chance to win an NBA championship, and that means we can bring Giannis, and that's what you got to do, and that's what you got to do. And to Double A's point, and I know we got to go to break here in a moment, to Double A's point, Dan Gilbert's a pretty smart businessman. He has ran one of the strongest mortgage companies in the world that, keep in mind, Cleveland is named after the arena that is, Rocket Arena, because he's built a strong company there. And he's built a strong company and brand with the Cavaliers since being the owner, governor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And he's ready to win. To Double A's point, we've talked about it. All of us talked about it on the network. He's ready to win. And at any means necessary. Dan Gilbert, when the quote or the slogan when the Cavs won the 2016 NBA championship, Double A, was all in. Here we are 11 years later. Going into 11 years, we'll be trying to end the drought instead of 10. And Dan Gilbert, once again, is all in.
There's a difference between all in and let them know. Let them know is, I'm going to do things the right traditional way of building the team up from scratch. Bringing in a few pieces and stuff, but we're building through the draft. We're doing this. The tweet that I read today, post game from Dan Gilbert, we took a step ahead this spring, but we are nowhere near where we need to be. I can't thank the fans enough for the support this year. We will dig in all summer and do everything we possibly can to take the next step. We will grind until we get there. Let them know means, build it up, no problem. All in means you get Giannis, you get LeBron, you get Jason Kidd, and you let it ride the rest of the way. You do whatever it takes. Because building the team the right way, it got your ass swept out of the playoffs. We'll be back.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Moser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Moser and his wife, Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at monstermomentsphotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. monstermomentsphotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. What an awesome show today on Unfiltered, guys. Talked about a lot on the NBA landscape. Also talked about just sports in general. When you really get interested in these major sports, we kind of have lulls at the beginning of these seasons, right? The Cavs, oh boy, did they get it done? Are we talking about a Game 5? Are we talking about what's going to happen in the offseason? We will talk about that tomorrow. And of course, all the different local news and notes around Northeast Ohio and the entire state, the country, the world, all that and more coming up on Unfiltered on your Tuesday, 5 o'clock here on the Inside Edge Network. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Okay, real quick, I gotta address something. Eli, you're actually responsible for this. Come on, I had to need you for a second. So I'm gone.
Okay.
I leave for one show. Okay, I also missed main event. But I leave for the weekend to travel to Chicago. And I'll tell you, I'll share with you guys more about that trip tomorrow. I leave. Omar's filling in, and Omar's going to be hosting our new morning show, debuting next Monday right here on the Inside Edge Network, 9 a.m., Monday, June 1st. Can't wait for that. Did Omar come inside? I saw he was running. No.
Yeah, he had me worried, Double A. I didn't get a hold of him for like an hour and a half before he was supposed to be on Midnight Run. If you tuned in Friday, you saw him running wherever he was running, and we were able to wrangle him inside, get him inside, and he did a great job, man. It was really refreshing, and I can't wait for June 1st in the mornings, 9 to 11 a.m. here, and him talk about a plethora of stuff, sports, entertainment, news, mental health. I mean, but yes, I was concerned because I was like, did Double A relay the wrong information? Like, I know Double A is like a track guy, I know, but like, we got to be considerate, Double A. Not everybody likes to run at midnight. I mean, obviously a lot of people do because they're all rocking with us right now, but not everybody likes to run at midnight.
So I want to make something crystal clear. You know, the premise of Midnight Run, I mean, we're sprinting through the show, but as you can see, my home base for an hour is right here at this seat. So, you know, like people go and work out and they do stuff. You know, I work out just to look good. I don't do, you know, like, oh, we got to do this and that. My running is performative. So
yeah,
it was so crazy how many people in Chicago, you know, like they're jogging around and stuff like this. Is nuts.
You need to get out there and join them?
Hell no. I did. We did a lot of walking. We did a lot of walking, walking around and stuff. So, but once walking becomes jogging, I'm out. Nope.
Double A, we might need you to do a Tuesday top 5 list of your top 5 Chicago moments. We might need it. I need it.
I'll do what I can, but it was fantastic. Again, it was there visiting friends and stuff. So again, we'll talk more. The whole road trip. I think sometimes we're in that bubble here locally, and this is any town. This is not just a Cleveland thing, but I think when you're in the bubble, like, okay, we go after topics each and every single day and things like that. Sometimes we think we're the only city with problems. Now, we are, in terms of we've only won one title in the last X number of years. Mm-hmm. So you can say that from that standpoint. But I'm in Chicago. I'm listening to the score out in Chicago, and they're talking about how the Cubs, what do the Cubs have to do to overcome an 8-game losing streak that they currently have?
Yeah, that's tough.
And of course, you think we have bad callers here. The first caller fired the manager. Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, you know,
and then the second caller, take the alcohol away from the dugout, like from the clubhouse. Okay, sure. Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, yeah, I got you. All right, yeah, we'll write down that.
And then before then, Detroit radio, boy, we're 11 games under 500. Is it time to trade Scooble? And that's when I called you guys. I'm like, well, I know it's frowned upon to trade with a division rival. We'll talk more. We'll talk more about tomorrow.
Absolutely. And Double A, I know you got a few more thoughts here. You know, Omar must have heard us. He chimed in here about his preparation for Friday's run. I just want to leave that in. I'm going to disappear into the behind the scenes here, but you can go ahead and address that before you.
I had to run through casinos in Vegas, no doubt. You had to get, yeah, man. I didn't tell you to run. I didn't actually tell you to run. Supposed to look like you're running. I did one promo for this show. Eli, do you have the promo that I did for this show? Let me know when you have it. I did one promo. You tell me if there's any running in this promo. Unhinged sports talk at an hour where you need it most. Midnight Run with me, Anthony Alford, on the Inside Edge Network. Now, to be fair, when I taped that promo, there was a little bit of ice on the ground, as you can see there. But absolutely, there was going to be no running. No. Maybe I should. Okay, fine. I need to tape a new promo. But in my eyes only, that promo is goated. They ain't going anywhere. I don't care if it's 80, 90 degrees in the sundress season. That promo is not going anywhere, okay? That's a good promo, according to me, myself, who did it. I'm being very, I'm trying to crack a smile. I really am, because, you know, obviously life is lifing, you know, this time of the year, and Cavs were embarrassed this whole time. Donovan Mitchell talked after the game. We didn't have time. He talked while we were on the air. So there's some things that he said that I want to get to tomorrow on the show. But we have a lot of things to address. Here's the first thing, and I want to leave you guys with this because we're about out of time, and I got to go back to work in the morning, so I would like to not be late for work. So a couple things. you almost kind of wish you could have free agency first, then you could hire the coaches, because the Cavs are in a real tough spot. You almost have to you have to hire if they move on from Kenny Atkinson. You have to make a choice on who you want as a head coach first, just thinking realistically. And whoever the coach is, whoever they bring in, this particular coach has to be front court. His preference, he or she, their preference needs to be front court centric. Where the Cavaliers, this version of the Cavaliers, where they have played their best, was when the offense fed through Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. That's your bread and butter. That's the offense. I get it. New York may have clogged up some lanes and stuff like that, but it still worked. It still, offensively, you were still able to trade baskets. When the ball got out of James Harden's hands quickly, that's when you had your best success. I go back to, oh man, what game was it? It was, I think it was was it game 2? Yeah, that was the one I came on after. Game 2, at the end of the first quarter, we led 27-24 against New York. Evan Mobley had 10 points. Jared Allen has 6 points. Your front court obviously was responsible for 16 points in the fourth quarter, or in the first quarter. Evan Mobley had 10 points in the first quarter. He finished that game with 14 points. That's unacceptable. Evan Mobley deserves blame for that, but also the coaching staff for getting away from what worked, which is utilizing the front court. But again, no matter what they have done, the bad habits that we talked about, that Kenny Atkinson talked about, those are the things. That's the reason why the season ended tonight. That's the reason why it ended. Not communicating. I mean, I'll give you one other thing. So the morning after, after we blew the 22-point lead, and Kenny Atkinson did not blame James Harden. He blamed the other elements of the defense, the backside defense, for not covering for James Harden. Okay, it's fun to blame James Harden, and I'm not going to turn that down whatsoever. Kenny was not wrong in that the backside defense did not cover. And Kenny said the right things most times. Okay, I take that back. The analytics thing was probably one of the worst things I've ever heard from a head coach. But a lot of what Kenny has said in these last few months has been correct. But there have been no adjustments in terms of fixing those problems. We played the clip for you at the beginning of the show. Kenny Atkinson mentioned every single problem with this team at 2 months ago about bad defense, low IQ, not communicating, hustle, things like that. He said all the right. I would hire him today to host the show on the Inside Edge Network, because he is saying all the right things. But actually applying those changes and getting the players to buy into those changes, none of that happened. And that's why, as we have all said on this network, as Kenny Smith has said, and everything like that, they took multiple steps back, even though technically they're following the same path that the Knicks took last year. But they are nowhere near where the Knicks, the Knicks a year ago was a move away. This team, while they finished in second place, they're 200 meters away. And some, with other injured players choosing to skip their particular heat. So next year, when you have a ton of teams in that heat, you're going to get blown out of the window. And that's that. And my last thing, and then we're done. I promise we're done. We're running, whatever. I didn't mention the most maddening part because I didn't want to yell at midnight. I'm not going to yell here. It's 1 o'clock. The game already happened. It is what it is. Time after time. This team, this Cavs team is currently – this is the number one reason. Matter of fact, Eli, come on the screen because I want you on the screen as I'm laying this out. The number one reason why you cannot run this team back, the number one reason. Multiple people, multiple analysts, from television to radio to digital to fans across the board, called you out. They challenged your manhood. They called you soft. They said you didn't belong. They went after you. Your whole culture these last 4 years, soft. Lack of mental toughness. Like, I'm going to call you a sissy or the other P word that I don't even want to use on these airwaves. You know what I mean, though. I'm going to call you that, and you will sit there and do nothing about it. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I got freaking Charles Barkley and TNT at halftime, and I don't blame them because everybody else has done it. I got them clowning my team, Eli's team, your team, clowning your team for being quitters, clowning you for being quitters. And they won't do a damn thing about it. They won't do a damn thing about it. You don't have a single guy, you don't have a man on that roster who's gonna say, you know what? None of you mother effers are gonna get the ball. I'm gonna take the ball. If we go down the ship, at least I'm gonna put up 40, 50 points. I'm gonna dominate the boards. I'm gonna do everything I can before they take me out of the game. And then when they try to take me out of the game, I'm going to look at coach and say, no, I'm going to finish the effing season. You're not taking me out of the game. They called out your manhood for 4 effing years. And you did nothing about it. You sat there, you laid there, you bent over, and you took it. That's the number one reason. If nothing else, if you in the back of your head say, you know what? Maybe this team could be something. Even if 1% of you says, maybe this team could be something if given more time. Maybe James Harden's right. Maybe Donovan's right. If given more time. The fact that y'all sat there and looked like effing punks for 4 years is the reason why there are fans out there who would rather blow this entire thing out of proportion, blow it up, and start fresh than run it back with these guys who are not mentally tough and honestly not physically tough. I'm watching Mitchell Robinson I'm watching the Knicks tonight put up alley-oops just because they can put it on the effing table.
Yeah. We wondered if they cared all season long, AA. And tonight, they quit.
Even as a man, I know the word pride gets thrown around probably more than it should in sports. I get it. At the end of the day, these players and coaches, they're all in the club that none of us are. You know, we're just fans. But part of your job, because you're professional athletes and you have fans. You have fans tonight, Cavs fans, hard-earned money. You understand how high these gas prices are? You understand mortgage and bills and food and everything is up. And you got fans, when you're down 3-0, they still showed up. And y'all just laid down like none of this mattered. And then you're trying to convince fans and media and everything that this is good enough to run back.
It's not AA. And they've been patient. And I should say he's been patient. Dan Gilbert. He has allowed Kobe Altman to build this core. And I know we've talked about Kobe Altman on this network about he made the James Harden move. We've also had conversations, about Dan Gilbert being the reason that move was made, because Dan Gilbert wants to win. And at the time, James Harden, you take a chance on him. Now, I wonder how much conversation there was about what else was on the table for Darius Garland at the time, and that's why Kobe Altman's under fire, in my opinion, as well. But Dan Gilbert's been patient. He's waited for the core four. He even tried giving a little enhancer with James Harden and Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. And at this point, the patience has run out. There is no more time to sell Dan Gilbert on a 7 to 8 year succession plan where it all works out and they win 2, 3, 4. Dan Gilbert don't care about any of that. He wants to win at least one. And if that means he guarantees at least one and whatever happens after that happens, then so be it. We've already talked about it twice, about life after LeBron. Now, we've seen what it looks like, and we know there's a way to get to at least a playable basketball team that's not terrible to watch every night. And maybe we got to deal with that for the next 8 to 10 years after. But you know what's awesome? Another NBA championship parade. And Dan Gilbert's ready for another one. Cleveland's ready for another one. And if that means LeBron, if that means Giannis, if that means Rich Paul orchestrating it all and Jason Kidd at the helm, then so be it. The patience is over. Patience has run out. The time for they'll figure it out. They'll let them know. Well, they've let us know tonight that they have quit. This team, from the top to the bottom, has checked out. They left to Cancun, and they put a bunch of bodies on the floor. But their souls and their hearts and their minds were already in a different spot.
It's unfortunate. We got more to unpack, and if there's any breaking news, we'll be on the air to cover it for you here on the Inside Edge Network. Again, like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net across all of our socials, whether it's the first time you're checking us out or the 10th or 100th time you checked us out. Thank you for your support. We always appreciate it. And again, subscribing and the notifications, all that is huge. You get daily content each and every single day. Again, Inside Edge Net is the social, and InsideEdgeNetwork.com, including the merch store. Use the promo code INSIDER. Kyle will tell you why you should use that promo code, but you should flat out use it because you get a major discount on the merch store. Speaking of Kyle, he'll be with you weekdays, including tomorrow, 5 o'clock for Unfiltered News, Talk, and Sports. My guy over, or it might be over here.
Yeah, I'm here. There you go. Yeah, you got it.
Eli and Chad will be with you for Inside Edge Primetime at 10 o'clock. Since we're done with Cavs post-game shows until next year's playoffs, they're 10 o'clock. That's their start time each and every single weeknight. And I'm with you every weeknight at midnight for Midnight Run. So we got all that covered for you and more programming to come. So don't go anywhere. We have you covered each and every single day. Tomorrow on this show, Donovan Mitchell had thoughts. I want to get into what Donovan Mitchell had to say, a lot of things, and we'll get more reaction. I'm sure there's going to be more news and more fallout from this Cavs postgame. Also, some Guardians talk. Scooble, was you entertained trading for him? We'll talk about that coming up on tomorrow's show. All right, and the Chicago trip, I'll give you some stuff about that and what happened. So a lot of great stuff. All right. Cavs season unfortunately comes to an end, but let's see what happens. The work starts here, I guess. So 130-93 was the final. The Knicks moving on to the NBA Finals. Who will they face? We'll talk about that too. OKC and San Antonio. We got that covered up for you as well. For Eli Moon, for our entire team here at the Inside Edge Network, for our owner and operations manager, Peter Tellup. My name's Anthony Alford. Great to have you with us. Thank you for joining us for Midnight Run. Again, with you every weeknight at midnight right here on the Inside Edge Network. Now get some rest because probably like me, many of you, for the first time in a few days, y'all got to get to work in the morning. Good night.